Tab, how are you all? So we are going to have our second class today. Yeah, good evening everyone. So again, I want to tell you, good evening everyone. Again, I want to tell you that I have enabled a setting in which only I am going to read your messages, right? Nobody else can see or read your messages. Okay? Good evening everyone. Acha, just confirm me in the chat section na, ki if I am audible and visible. And second thing, also confirm me in the chat section ki in the YouTube I am visible or audible or not. In the YouTube also. Can you just confirm me? Okay, in both of the platform na. Okay, chalo, all clear in live also, all clear in Zoom also. Okay, chalo, good. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Chalo. So without delaying further, let's directly start our class. Okay. So first of all, I want to ask you all, ki, have you revised whatever we have done in the first class? Everyone. Okay, everyone is saying yes. Okay, that's good. Chalo, very good. Okay, so I have started to get the answers and everyone is saying yes. Most of you are saying yes. That's good. Okay, chalo. ठीक है. Okay, I'm sharing my screen with you and we have the next PPT of the today's class and we are going to directly start. ठीक है? चलो. Okay. Yeah, can you see my PPT everyone? We are good to go now? Yes? Okay. Nice. So what we are going to do today. So first of all, I'll just give you the brief what we have discussed in the yesterday's class. So what we did, we understood about the basics of accounting. So basically, first of all, we understood or we discussed that accounting has now much wider scope than it was earlier, right? Now it is not just only meant for recording. It's like the information system which processes the information to give you the best picture, best reports, so that decision makers can analyze it, right? So this is what we learned in our previous class. And then we learned about the basic terms in accounting, like expenditure, capital, assets, liabilities, right? In brief. Then we also did our theory base of accounting, which includes your principles, right? And in the accounting process, in the first session, we also learn that accounting process is basically your identification of economic events, right? And then the measurement part, then the recording part, then the communication part, right? So now in today's class, we are going to understand how does accounts records the transaction. This is what today's class is going to be all about, right? Not only this, we are going to move ahead as well. But first of all, we are going to understand how does accounts records the transactions or the economic events. Clear? So this is what we are going to do in our today's class. ठीक है? चलो. Now you all have to focus. ठीक है? Don't lose your focus in the complete class. चलो, I'm starting it. So what is going to be our flow? So first of all, we are going to understand the meaning and the format of the journal entries. What is this journal? Basically, when we record now, we do it first of all in the journal book. It's a kind of a book in which we do the entries. So the name is given as journal, right? Then we will understand the types of accounts, then golden rules of accounting, then accounting equation. Then this is the way we are going to understand, and this is the way you have to remember, not the golden rules of accounting. This is the old method, but for the knowledge point of view, we are going to discuss that. But actually, you are going to understand how to debit and how to credit with this modern way. This is the modern way. What to debit and what to credit, we are going to discuss the modern way as well. And with this method only, you are going to understand the most complex thing in the accounts, which generally non-commerce background student suppose it to be, right? They think debit and credit entries are the most complex things, right? But when you have attended today's class, when you will be attending today's class, after that, you will not be fearful about, you will not worry about the aspect of what to debit and what to credit when we are done with this aspect of modern way. Okay. Then we will look at some MCQs, then ledger as well. We are going to look at it, right? Okay. Voice is breaking. Namita is saying, देखो टेक्निकल इशू नहीं होना चाहिए, बाकी सब तो ठीक है. ठीक है, सब सही है ना? बता दो यार एक बार. हाँ ठीक है ना? इन द यूट्यूब एज वेल एंड इन द. ओके ठीक है. ओके ओके ठीक है. चलो, everything is good. Let's move ahead. So what's that journal now? Now, as I've told you, ki journal is the book of, now focus, everyone focus here. This journal is the book of original entry. That means, first of all, the business transaction is going to be recorded in the journal book, right? So journal is the first place where all the transactions are going to be recorded. And this is what we call journalizing it, and we record it in the chronological order. Okay? Now, how do we do that? We're going to understand that as well. Don't worry. But before that, let's have the brief understanding कि after preparing the journal, ठीक है, after preparing the journal book, we transfer it to the individual account as well. Individual account as in, as such salary account, rent account, Mohan account, Sohan account. So all the accounts, separate account, we are going to the transfer the entries from the, or the amount from the general to the individual accounts, and this process we call posting, right? And these individual accounts, we call it ledger, right? Okay, this is the brief. Okay, now we will get into the details of journal first, then we will discuss the ledger part in detail, right? So journal is the book of original entry. We have talked about this, and these transactions are posted from this book to the respective accounts that we call ledger accounts. Okay. Now, what is the format of journal? See, accounts has some rules and regulations, right? You can't just have the register with you and record anything. Okay, in your own assumption or in your own way, there is a rule to do each and every aspect of the accounts, right? So there is a format of journal. This gives you only in this format you are going to do your recording, right? So by this register, I just recall this कि you have to be with your notebook and pen as well, okay? Because there are going to be, I think, some numericals as well, so you have to write your you have to do entries and all, okay? I'm going to ask few questions to you as well now, and for the doubt as well, you have to write your doubts in the register as well, so that you can ask those doubts to me at the end of the session, right? So just be ready with the notebook and pen as well, okay? Okay, now what about the format? So format of journal basically consists of 5 columns, right? And this column, first we have the date. What do this date represent? So basically, in the date, we have the date of transaction. So suppose we are the company and we are going to give salary to an employee. So the date in which we have paid the salary, that date we are going to enter here, right? Now in the particulars, we are going to write the accounts, 2 or more accounts that are getting impacted due to this transaction, right? So suppose we have purchased goods from the Govind traders. Let's take the hypothetical example. We have purchased some goods from the this Govind traders, right? So 2 accounts are getting impacted here. We will understand this, which to account and what to debit, what to credit. Don't worry about that. Just understand the format right now. So these 2 accounts will be entered in the particulars. These 2 accounts are getting impacted. One is our purchase, because we are doing the purchase, and from Govind traders we are purchasing. So therefore that account, right? Now the debit amount and the credit amount. And another thing is there, that is ledger folio. What is this ledger folio? See, I'll give you the example. Suppose I have the register of ledger book, right? This is the ledger book. Sorry, general book. The general entries are done in the general book. I have another book, that is ledger book. So this ledger folio in the general book indicates the page number of the ledger book. Ki where in the ledger book you are going to find this transaction. So earlier what used to happen we used to do accounting in the offline, matlab in the registers we used to do that, right? So for that scenarios, we have the ledger folio in the general book and the general folio in the ledger book, so that page numbers can be referred with each other. So this is the page number of the ledger book. Okay, so I have done this thing. So when I used to serve as the accountant in the government of India, I used to prepare the journal entries and the this ledger book. I used to prepare that by hand only. Though I used to do that in Tally also, but it was, in fact, even now in the government departments, in some government departments, not all, you have the rule of preparing the accounts in the offline, right, in the registers. So I have done that, right? Okay, so that's why I'm telling you this ledger folio is the page number of the this ledger folio is the page number of the ledger book. ठीक है, clear इतना? Format is clear to everyone now? Okay, we have discussed all these things, right? Now let's talk about the types of account. ठीक है? Okay, I think I have a question. रुक जाओ. Okay, I'll take this question. Don't worry. कुछ कैमरे में गड़बड़ है क्या? What's wrong with my camera? Someone is saying. कैमरा ठीक है ना? Pratik, your I think your screen might be. My camera is absolutely clear ना everyone? All good. Okay. चलो ठीक है. And I'll take the questions at last. ठीक है विपेश? Just note down your question. ठीक है? Because we are in a flow, right? Okay. चलो. अच्छा चलो, I'll answer this question of Vipesh. Vipesh is asking, during the lifetime of the entity accounting procedures, produces financial statements in accordance with which basic accounting principles? See, Vipesh, we have the accounting standards for that. So everyone has to everyone has to follow the accounting standards. ठीक है? Okay. चलो. Okay. Let's move ahead. Now, types of accounts. We have personal account and we have real account and we have nominal account. We have three types of account. Okay. So why we are studying it? See, this is the old method in which we study what to debit and what to credit. This is one of the method of understanding what account to debit and what account to credit. So before understanding that, you should have the understanding what are the types of accounts we have, right? So what do we mean by personal account? See, personal account is very easy. Personal account is any account that relates to the persons, right? And these persons could be what? Your natural persons, right? Natural persons. And these persons could be your artificial persons. And these persons could be representative person as well. I'll give you the example, don't worry. See, what do we mean by the natural person? ठीक है? Natural person means like this, Suraj. ठीक है? Mohan, Sohan. What is the artificial person? See, companies are also considered as the persons. The companies are also considered as the persons in the law terms, right? So this ABC company limited, XYZ limited company, all these are also the personal account and they come under the category of artificial person. Now, what is this representative personal account? It is not written here, but I'm telling you, if you're making notes, just write it down. Representative personal account. So what is that? So basically, two types we have discussed about the personal account. One more type is representative personal account. See what happens. Suppose you have to give salaries to the employees, right? And you haven't given it right now, so they are outstanding now. So we call it outstanding salary. What do we call it? We call it outstanding salary. So this outstanding salary is representing the group of employees to whom we have to give the salary, right? So this outstanding salary account is representative personal account. Okay, there is a trick of that as well. Whatever nominal account is there, if you prefix anything or if you suffix anything, that becomes your personal account. Nominal account. What are nominal account? See, if you have done the personal account, let's understand about the nominal account now. Nominal account is very easy. All the expenses, all the incomes are your nominal account. The easiest one. Okay? All the incomes, all the expenses accounts are your nominal account, like rent, salary, wages, every expense, right? Every income. ठीक है? Income is like sales. ठीक है? Okay. So now when we prefix anything like salary is a nominal account, when we prefix outstanding before salary, so that becomes your representative personal account. Clear? ठीक है? Now let's talk about the real account. Easy enough. So the accounts of all those things whose value can be measured in terms of money. Like we have the tangible assets, like we have the intangible assets, right? Like cash account, furniture account, land account. All these accounts are the real account. Okay. You have got the understanding of the types of account. Now let's move ahead. Now I'll give you the just example. Okay. Pratik, just keep your doubts for the last. ठीक है, just write it down. You want me to repeat about the representative personal account, and at the last I'm going to discuss that. ठीक है, focus. See, representative personal account will be repeated again, na? So it might happen कि then you will have the understanding. So therefore, keep your doubts at the register, so that during the session, if you have any doubt, it might get resolved automatically. ठीक है, clear? ठीक है. See, we have so many students here now. If I read each and every message, that will be problematic. So at the last, I'm going to take the questions. Okay. Okay. So where you were, okay. So some examples, right? Company X starts its business with a capital of rupees 1 lakh, right? So we have two accounts that are getting impacted here. You have to identify two accounts. So first thing, you need to understand in a transaction, you have to record it, right? So before recording it, you have to identify in this transaction, in this event, which accounts are getting impacted. So in this particular example, company X starts its business with a capital of rupees 1 lakh. We have two accounts that are getting impacted here. First account is, it is starting and it is giving the capital, so capital account, right? Now, this company X starts business with a cash 1 lakh rupees. So the second account will be cash account. Now the classification. Cash account is real account, as we have discussed, all the assets. Okay, real account. Now this capital account is personal account because it is neither an income nor the expenditure. So it is not the nominal account. So why it is personal account? I'll give you the idea. See, capital denotes the amount that a person has invested. So it is representing the person. Okay, that's why it is representing the owner's money. That's why it's a personal account. Clear? Now, second example, rents a property worth rupees 25,000. It is very easy. If you are paying a rent, so a rent account, and you are paying rent in cash. So first account that is getting impacted here is cash. That comes under the category of real account. Rent account is basically, even if you are getting the rent, then also it is nominal account because it is an income. If you are paying the rent, then also it is a nominal account because it's an expense. So whatever is the inference from this statement, whether it is getting the rent or it is paying the rent, rent account will be nominal account. Though debit and credit will be changed as per the payment or as per the receive, as per the if you are getting the rent, then the entries will be different, but the type of account will be same. Okay. Third example is purchases goods worth rupees 50,000 on credit from company Y. So now you are purchasing goods. Understand this, but you are not paying cash. You are purchasing goods on the credit basis. So that means that other person becomes, or company, that other person or see, company is person in law language. Okay? So when I say person, don't get confused. I'm talking about the company Y. So that other party becomes your creditor, because we have done this in the previous class. When you have purchased something from other party, you haven't paid them, so that becomes your creditor, right? So again, that's your personal account. Company Y is personal account, obviously, because that is artificial person. Now you're purchasing goods. So remember this point. This is very important here. Okay, there is no account called goods account. There is no account called goods account. When you purchase the goods, you have the account that is purchase account. Okay, remember this. When you're purchasing the goods, if you're purchasing the machinery, then the purchase account is not going to get impacted. Then machinery account is going to get impacted. But when you are purchasing the goods, so you represent, you enter the details in the purchase account, not on the goods account. There is no account called goods account either in the accounts. Okay. Now, fourth example, sells goods worth rupees 75,000. Very easy. You are getting the cash, so cash account is getting impacted, and other account is sales account. Now sales account is income, so obviously it's an nominal account. Next entry, pays cash for goods purchased from company Y. So again, it is very easy. Earlier you have purchased goods. Okay, now you are paying. So your cash account is getting impacted and you are paying company Y. So company Y is getting impacted. So till now everything is clear to everyone. Now let's move ahead. Now what's the rule to debit and credit? First you have to identify which accounts are getting impacted. Then you have to apply the rules. Though I should tell you, these rules you are not going to use, because I'm going to teach you one modern way to do the debit and credit. But from the knowledge point of view, question might be asked in the examination. Na, ki what are the golden rules? Though chances are less, but then also we have to study this, right? But remember, I'm going to discuss with you the modern way of debit and credit as well. Don't worry about that. Okay, if you don't understand this rule. So we have three types of account. You have identified the accounts and the classification of that account. Okay. So if any account comes under the category of real account, and to know that account you need to debit or credit. So for what you need to apply, this rule. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. I'll give you the example. Don't worry. Suppose cash. You have sold goods. Cash account will be impacted. You are getting the cash. So cash comes under the category of real account. So you are getting the cash. You are getting the cash. So rule says now cash comes under the category of real account. So you will apply the rule of real account now. And real account rule says debit what comes into the business or debit what comes in. So cash is coming. Cash is coming. So what you're going to do? You're going to debit the cash or you're going to credit the cash. Obviously, you're going to debit the cash because it is coming into the business. This asset is coming into the business. Okay? So you are going to debit it. So debit, you are going to cash, you are going to debit it, right? Now, for the personal account. Okay? For the personal account, Garima, see, we are going to get into the advanced level also. Don't worry, huh? See, I have to make the base for each and every one now. So that is important. Okay? Don't worry, this is only the second class. From the third class onwards, from the tomorrow onwards, everything we are going to discuss will be on the advanced level. Obviously, you know that, right? You are from the commerce category. So, you know, after recording the transaction, after studying the general entries, ledger, and subsidiary books, today we are going to complete that. So tomorrow we will have the the income statement and the balance sheet, right? But we have the variety of students now. So in second class, we are going to do the till the subsidiary books, right? And from tomorrow, obviously, income statement balance sheet will be there. So that will be advanced, obviously. Okay? Now, Garima clear? Okay? Okay? Chalo. Okay. So Yashardhan, if you are CA, yeah. So that's your call. Okay? Okay? Don't annotate in my PPT, huh? Okay, let me just remove the annotation. Okay. Achha, someone has by mistake done the annotation. Okay. Chalo, I have disabled it. इतना बड़ा निशान बना दिया किसी ने. I think someone has done this by mistake. Don't worry. I'm going to reopen it. ठीक है? Wait for a minute. I'm going to reopen it. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. ओके, होता है, ऐसा होता है. छोटे छोटे बच्चे हो ना, तो हो जाती गलतियां. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. ठीक है, हाँ, ठीक है. हाँ, अनुपम, सी स्टडी नाउ, फोकस. ठीक है. It depends on your efforts. We are there, therefore we are starting from the scratch only. Therefore I'm not skipping the basic concept. ठीक है. चलो, now let's focus everyone, focus. ठीक है, चलो, focus. Let's keep your doubts in the register. चलो. Now debit what comes in, credit what goes out, we have discussed. Now personal account. See, personal account, the rule says debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now we have another rule for this: debit the debtor and credit the creditor. See, for the personal account, I'll give you the example. Chalo, example we will discuss later in the next slide. So personal account rule, you have to remember. What is the rule? Debit the receiver and credit the giver. So first you have to identify the accounts that are getting impacted. Then you have to classify it into the personal account, real account, or the nominal account. Now the rule of nominal account, this rule you must remember. Okay? Now I must tell you, I have told you na ki apart from golden rules, I'm going to tell you one modern way. but that modern way also going to need this rule as well of the nominal account. This you have to remember definitely. So nominal account rule says you have to debit all the expenses like rent, wages, salaries. You have to debit that account, and you have to credit all the income or all the gains. Okay, clear? These are the three rules. Now let's understand this with the help of examples, how you are going to apply that these rules to do the debit and to do the credit. Okay. Okay. Now the first question is, company X starts its business with a capital of 1 lakh rupees, and we have understood this key two accounts that are getting impacted here are what? Capital account and cash account. Now let's do the journal entry by these rules. So personal account, first of all, let's understand the cash account. Now, from the business point of view, cash is coming into the business. Cash is coming into the business, right? And it's an asset. And rule says, real account rule says, debit what comes in. Debit what comes in. So therefore, you are going to debit your cash account. Easy enough. Nothing problematic here. Nothing rocket science here. Okay, first you have to identify the accounts. Then you have to classify it into the real, personal, nominal. Then you have to apply the rule. Debit what comes in. Cash is coming into the business, so you are debiting it. So if one thing is debiting, other will be credited, right? So capital account is going to be credited. Clear everyone? Very easy. Okay. Second entry, rents a property worth rupees 25,000. Now there is one more way you can understand this. See, you have understood cash account debited. You can also understand the why capital account is getting credited. See, capital account is the personal account, right? Capital account is the personal account, and owner is giving money to the business. So debit the debtor, credit the creditor. So this owner is your creditor, is the business creditor. Okay? Owner is going to be considered as the a type of, not actually, but it will be considered as the liability. Now the capital amount will be considered as the liability. So see, capital account is getting credited here. And the shortcut is, whenever capital increases, it will be credited. Whenever asset increases, it will be debited. From the rule itself, we have deduced this thing. Okay? Clear? Okay. Now next entry. Rents a property worth rupees 25,000. First, you have to identify two accounts that are getting impacted here. First account is your cash account. Okay? Because you are renting a property, right? And another account is your rent account. Easy enough. Now you are paying cash, and cash comes under the category of real account, and real account rule says debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So credit, so cash is going out, so you are going to credit your cash. Clear everyone? Very easy. You're going to credit your cash. Now let's talk about the rent. Rent is your nominal account. Okay, rent is your nominal account. Now nominal account says, rule says, debit all expenses, credit all gains. Okay, debit all expenses. Now rent is your expense because you're paying the rent. So rent will be debited because rule says debit all expenses. This rule is very important. Yeah, you have to remember this rule. So rent will be debited. Clear everyone? ठीक है, सबको क्लियर हो गया? ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Purchase goods worth rupees 50,000 on credit from the company Y. Pratik, focus. Write down your doubts on register. ठीक है, instantly. Purchases goods worth rupees 50,000 on credit from company Y. Now, which two accounts are getting impacted here? Company Y and the purchases account. That we have discussed. But now let's discuss the journal entry. Now, one account is company account and another account is purchase account. Purchase account is your nominal account, right? And what's the rule says? Debit all expenses, and purchase is your expense, isn't it? Purchase is your expense. So purchase account will be debited. Very nice. And another account will be credited, that is company Y. Company Y is the personal account and company Y is the creditor. So I have told you this rule as well. Debit the debtor, credit the creditor for the personal account. So creditor will be credited. Clear everyone? ठीक है. Let's move ahead. Easy है, very easy. Now, sells goods worth rupees 75,000. Understand this. You are selling something, right? You are selling something. So when you are selling something, that becomes your income, isn't it? That becomes your income. And this sales account, income account is your income account, and all the expense and incomes are your nominal account. What the rule says? Rule says debit all expenses, credit all incomes, credit all income. So this sales account will obviously be credited. And now you are getting the cash. Second account getting impacted here is cash account. So you are getting the cash. You are getting the cash. So asset, real account is increasing. So you are going to debit it because it comes in. So cash account debit to sales account. Easy enough. Everyone clear? Okay. Pays cash for goods purchased from the company Y. And don't worry if you have the partial understanding of this thing, because I'm going to do another method as well to debit and credit. You're not going to use this method. Okay, let me tell you that. But this will form the base for you to understand the modern way. Okay, pays cash for the goods purchased from the company Y. Now again, company Y is there and cash account is there. So very easy. So you are paying cash, so cash account will be credited, and you are paying cash to the company Y. So it will be debited. Why it is getting debited? Because earlier it was credited. Earlier it was credited. So now you are paying cash, so it is getting debited. Okay. Now we have talked about the golden rules. Now let's talk about the accounting equation. Very, very important, because we have done this thing in the previous class as well. And because of this equation, you have the modern approach to debit and credit that you need to understand. Okay, to attempt the question in an examination, right? So that this we have discussed, asset is equal to liability plus capital. Okay. Now, basically, this comes from the principle of dual concept that we have earlier discussed, right? Now, various scenarios is going to happen in the balance sheet, and whatever is going to be the scenario, whatever is going to be the transaction or event, each and every time, your total asset is going to be equal to the liabilities plus capital. That's for sure. Okay? Whatever is the transaction. So it might happen that one asset is increasing, but simultaneously your liability is going to increase, or your capital is increasing, or if one individual asset is increasing, another asset is decreasing, so that they become equal. Okay, I'll give you the example. Suppose asset is 1,000 rupees. Okay, total asset is 1,000 rupees, and total of liabilities and capital is also 1,000 rupees. Now, if this asset increases by 10 rupees or 100 rupees, so it becomes 1,100. So to match this gap, liability should increase with 100 rupees, or your capital will increase by 100 rupees. So again, it will become equal. Or what might happen, if one asset is increasing by 100 rupees, another asset is decreasing by 100 rupees. Therefore, it will be neglected. So 1,000 becomes equal to 1,000. So this is the accounting equation, basic accounting equation. Okay. Now, these are the examples basically what we have discussed. So Rohit started business with a capital of 5 lakh. So as you can see here, capital is the liability. Capital is including the liability itself. So on the liability side, we have the capital of 5 lakh. And on the cash side also, we have the 5 lakh. So as you can see, total is equal. Okay? After the first event. Okay? Clear? 5 lakh. Now, after the second entry, what is going to happen? Opened a bank account in State Bank of India with an amount of 4,80,000. Now you have the cash 5 lakh. You're depositing this cash into your bank account. So bank account is increasing. So you're going to asset account. So you are going to increase your asset, that is bank, by 4,80,000, because you're only depositing 4,80,000. But simultaneously, another asset, see, bank is increasing by 4,80,000. Okay? But simultaneously, your cash is decreasing by 4,80,000. So earlier it was 5 lakh. Now it is only 20,000. So now again, the total is 5 lakh. Here also, total is 5 lakh. Got it? How this accounting equation is valid throughout all the transactions. ठीक है. Third, bought furniture for 60,000 and check was issued on the same day. Very easy. Asset again. On the asset side, you are going to enter furniture. That is your 60,000. This is the balance sheet, you can say. Okay? So on the furniture, you are going to enter 60,000, right? And you have paid with the check. So your bank account is going to decrease by 60,000. So one asset is increasing by 60,000. Another asset is decreasing by 60,000. So thereby, again, total will be same. Liability is equal to asset. Total liability will be equal to asset. Liability, I mean to say external liability plus capital. ठीक है. Fourth transaction. Bought a plant and machinery for the business for rupees 1,25,000. So buying a machinery. So again, on the asset side, what is going to happen? It will increase by 1,25,000. ठीक है, clear. But it says, and an advance of 10,000 in cash is paid to Ramji Lal, and the rest of the amount is to be paid later. So this Ramji Lal becomes your creditor now, because you have only paid rupees 10,000. You have only paid rupees 10,000, right? Now, someone was telling me कि sir please explain in English as well, speak Hindi as well. So I'll tell you this thing कि if in any concept, ठीक है, you want me to explain in Hindi as well, I'll do that. Just specify in the chat section कि sir please explain this in Hindi as well, ठीक है? So I'll repeat that in Hindi, ठीक है? Clear? ठीक है? Okay? चलो. Just let me know in the chat section कि you want me to repeat this thing in Hindi, ठीक है? So I'll do that. Don't worry about Hindi and English, right? Okay. ठीक है? Okay. So to bas okay. 10,000 repeat. Okay. Yeah, I'm repeating this. This fourth entry. Okay. First, I'll make you understand in English. Then I'll repeat this in Hindi. Don't worry. This fourth entry. ठीक है? 10,000. Now see, what is happening here? कि we are buying plant and machinery for the business for rupees 1,25,000, right? So we are increasing our plant and machinery by 1,25,000. That is clear to you. Now, you are paying cash only 10,000. Rest of the amount you are going to pay later, on a later date. So now this Ramji Lal, from whom you have purchased this machinery, this Ramji Lal becomes your creditor, right? And creditor is a liability. So out of 1,25,000, 10,000 you have paid. Rest amount is 1,15,000. So this creditor is 1,15,000 here, and you have paid 10,000 in cash. So your cash will be decreased by 10,000. So earlier it was 20,000, and now it is 10,000. So earlier it was 20,000. You have paid 10,000. So your cash has been decreased by 10,000. ठीक है? Clear? So should I repeat it in Hindi? ठीक है? Yeah, Catherine. 1,50,000 has to be paid later. Should I repeat it? नहीं ना? Repeat नहीं करना ना? हाँ, okay. चलो, thank you. Okay. Goods purchased from Miss Sumit Traders for rupees 55,000 on credit basis. Now, this entry happens again. Your total of asset and liability will be same because you have purchased the goods. ठीक है? From Sumit Traders. Now, this Sumit Trader is not your creditor. Is it your, yeah, this is your creditors. This Sumit Trader again become your creditor. Earlier, you have the creditors of 1,15,000 only, but now 55,000 creditors are more entering into your accounts book, right? So you will increase this 1,15,000 by 55,000. Now it becomes 1,70,000. But you are purchasing goods, so they are your stock, inventories. So it will increase your asset side as well. Okay. Now, when you will total it, it will again become equal. Okay. Clear? Okay. Now, sixth entry, it says, yeah, Sanjana, just let me know na, whatever topic or whatever just concept you want me to repeat in Hindi. Okay, I'll repeat it. Don't worry about that. Okay. English, I'm also using this simplest English I can use, right? And I can see most of you are getting it, right? ओके, ठीक है, ठीक है, जस्ट टेल मी इन विच एंट्री यू वांट मी टू रिपीट इन हिंदी, आई विल रिपीट दैट, ठीक है? ठीक है संजना, क्लियर ना? ओके, ठीक है, ओके, लेट्स मूव अहेड। ओके, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं, चलो। निखिल सिंह मराठी, मराठी आई डोंट नो मराठी, ठीक है, चलो लेट्स लेट्स मूव अहेड नाउ। कॉस्टिंग गुड्स कॉस्टिंग 35,000 सोल्ड टू रजनी एंटरप्राइज फॉर रुपीज 35,000, अगेन वेरी इजी। सो यू हैव सोल्ड गुड्स टू, ठीक है, अब मेरी बात सुनो सब एवरीवन, ठीक है, जस्ट राइट डाउन योर डाउट्स। गुड्स कॉस्टिंग रुपीज 35,000 सोल्ड टू रजनी एंटरप्राइज फॉर रुपीज 35,000. Now you are selling something. You are selling something. That means your stock is going to decrease. Your stock is going to decrease. ठीक है? So earlier your stock was how much? See, 55,000 earlier stock was there. Now you have sold the stock of 35,000. So 55,000 minus 35,000 becomes your 20,000. See, 20,000 is written here. Now debtor has been increased by 35,000. So one asset has been decreased, another asset has been increased, right? So again, your asset and liability will be equal, right? Now, let's get into the advanced level, certain advanced level. Now see, we have this equation. What is the modern way? This is the beginning of modern way. Now asset is equal to liabilities plus stockholders equity. This is capital basically. Now this capital also includes your previous year profits as well. Okay, this stockholders equity also includes your previous year profits as well, because that is basically that is the part of the owners, right? Owners have the right on that profit, that previous profit. So we call it beginning retained earnings. And this year profit as well, this is also included in the stockholders equity, because the current year profit also belongs to the equity shareholders, right? So liabilities plus, and this shareholder equity has been subdivided into contributed capital, what they have contributed, plus accrued profits from the previous years, plus this year profit, that is revenue minus expenses. Now when you transpose this expense on this side, it becomes your asset plus expense equals to your liability plus capital plus revenue, right? Is this clear to everyone? Very easy. This minus expense is going to be go to the left hand side and becomes plus sign. So asset plus expense is equal to liability plus capital plus revenue, right? Now from this equation, you must remember two things. Key assets and expenses. Assets and expenses are or will behave the same way. These two will behave the same way. Okay? Why I'm saying so? You will get to know. And liabilities plus capital plus revenue will behave the same way. So you need to remember this thing. Assets and expenses will behave the same way. The rest of the other 5 things will behave the same way. Now how? Let me tell you how. When you increase the asset or when you increase the expense, now remember what I've told you in the beginning when we had talked about the golden rule. Remember when the rule of nominal account, debit all expenses. Remember that. So I told you that was important. So see, this modern way says whenever expenses are increased, that will be debited. And just now we have discussed the asset and expenses behave in the same way. So you need to remember कि when asset increases, like we have in the case of cash, when cash comes, means cash is increasing. So that means this will be, this cash account or asset account, any asset account will be debited. So you need to remember 2 things. What? I'll tell you. When you increase the asset and expense, to understand the debit and credit, this is the most important statement. Just remember this thing. When you increase the asset and the expense, the account is going to get debited. Okay, clear? And why? This is the mathematical proof, because they behave like they behave on a similar pattern because they are on the left hand side, right? So whenever asset increases, it will be debited. Whenever expenses increase, then they also get debited. Now, what about the liabilities, capital, and revenue? They will behave the same way. How? Whenever liability increases, whenever income increases, whenever equity or capital increases, then they are going to get credited. They are going to get credited. ठीक है, सबको याद हो गया? Everyone, tell me the chart section. याद हुआ सबको? ये याद करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, क्या याद करना है? I'll repeat the equation. ठीक है, equation was asset is equal to liability plus shareholders equity. ठीक है, so you need to understand कि assets and the expense behave the same way. So whenever asset is going to increase, you are going to debit that asset account. Whenever expense is going to increase, you are going to debit that expense account. And the rest of the accounts, that is your liability, income, and capital. See how you will remember this. Liability and capital are basically on the liability side now, so obviously they will behave the same way, right? So whenever they increases, you credit it, you credit that. ठीक है, and for as far as income is concerned, this is the nominal account. Remember, you credit all gains and incomes from the rules, so that will be credited when increased. And reverse is very easy. When you decrease asset and the expense, when you decrease asset and the expense, you are going to credit it. So whenever you decrease it. Now for the liability, income, and equity, whenever you decrease it, you debit it. That's also easy. So you just need to remember only increase. Only increase you need to remember. Decrease is the reverse. ठीक है, चलो अब मैं I'll ask you the question in the next slide. Yeah, in this slide, so that you remember these points. चलो, tell me. ठीक है, याद हो गया नीरज सिंह. ओके, चलो याद हो गया तो फिर प्रैक्टिस करते हैं डायरेक्ट. ठीक है, चलो गुड. प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, अभी याद हो जाएगा जिसको याद नहीं हुआ. ठीक है. Asset, what do we have in the assets? Plant and machinery, furniture account, cash in hand, that you know. Liability is like RAM creditors account, bank loan account. Expenses like insurance premium, salary, and rent account. Revenue like sale, interest, and commission income. Okay. Now let's do the practice one by one. Rohit started with a cash of rupees 5 lakh. First, identify the type of account. One account is cash account. Another account is capital account. Okay. Now cash account is also increasing. Cash is the asset. Asset is also increasing. Capital is also increasing. And we have studied this right now from the table. Whenever asset increases, we debit it. Whenever liability increases or capital increases, we credit it. So cash will be debited, capital will be credited. This is the shortcut. This is the modern way. You don't have to remember all the golden rules. That's the traditional or old way. This way you have to remember it, all the journal entries, right? Only two things you have to remember: assets and your expenses. When they increase, they get debited. The rest of the factors, when they increase, they get credited. Okay, so next question. Opened a bank account with an amount of 4,80,000. Very easy. You have the amount, you have deposited in your bank account. Your bank account is increasing, your cash account is decreasing. One asset account is increasing, another asset account is decreasing. So the account which is increasing, you are going to debit it, because when assets are increased, you debit it. So bank account getting debited and cash account getting credited. Easy enough, nothing very technical here. ठीक है, क्लियर? सबको आया ना? बड़ा इजी था. ठीक है, वेरी गुड. नेक्स्ट एंट्री. Bought furniture for rupees 60,000 and issued check for the same. Now what is happening here? You have bought furniture, one asset has increased, that is furniture has increased. So obviously furniture is going to get debited. Whenever asset increases, you debit it. That is easy. But you are paying for the furniture through the bank account, not in cash, through the bank account. So your bank account is decreasing. So that means you are going to credit your bank account. Easy enough. So your furniture account is going to get debited and your bank account is going to get credited. ठीक है, क्लियर है सबको? आसान है ना एवरीवन? ठीक है, ओके गुड. या आज तक करेक्ट. ठीक है. Now bought plant and machinery from Ramji Lal for the business for rupees 1,25,000 and advance has been given 10,000 as cash and rest of the amount is to be paid later. So again, very easy. Now three accounts are getting impacted here. One is cash, that is your asset account. Another one is machinery, again asset account, and another is creditor Ramji, that is your liability. Now cash is decreasing because you are paying 10,000, right? So if cash is decreasing, that means you have to credit it. So cash account is getting credited by 10,000. ठीक है. Now let's come to the machinery account. Machinery is the asset account. Machinery is increasing because you are having the machinery of 1,25,000. So your assets are increasing, or I can say machinery is increasing by 1,25,000, right? So it will be debited. Whenever assets increased, you debit it. So plant and machinery debit by 1,25,000. Another account is Ramji Lal. Now, Ramji Lal is your creditor. That is your liability. Whenever liability increases, what happens? Whenever liability increases, you credit it. You credit it. So you are going to write here to Ramji Lal. So whenever you write the credit entries, you write to. Okay? So to Ramji Lal. And what will be the amount? Very easy. Total amount was 1,25,000. You have paid 10,000. So rest of the amount is 1,15,000. So creditor will be created. This Ramjilal will be created by 1,15,000. And one thing more you need to understand here, when you do the total of these two, 10,000 plus 1,15,000, that will be same as the debit amount, or debit and credit will always be equal. Clear everyone? ठीक है, चलो. Next entry, goods purchased from Sumit Traders for rupees 55,000 on credit. Again, very easy. Purchase account, goods account. So your goods are increasing, your assets are increasing, your inventory is increasing. So you, or you can say, chalo, goods रहने दो अभी. You are basically, you are purchasing something, so you don't have any goods account, right? You have the purchase account. Though you are going to enter that, if there is a closing stock, you are going to enter that in your closing inventory. That we will discuss in the later part. But for this entry, you just need to remember कि when you are purchasing any good, that is your expense. ठीक है? For this entry, just remember this. For the debit and credit, closing stock we will discuss later. So we have purchased something, right? So two accounts are getting impacted here. One is purchase account. ठीक है? I'll write it here. One is purchase account and another one is Sumit account. ठीक है? So purchase is your expense and your expenses are increasing. So debit all expenses. Remember, whenever expenses are increased, you debit it. You debit it. So your purchase account is going to get debited. ठीक है? Clear? Now, Sumit is your creditor because you haven't paid Sumit. Okay, you haven't paid 55,000 to Sumit, right? So liability is getting increased by 55,000. So when liability increases, you are going to credit. You are going to credit that liability account, and liability account is Sumit Traders. So it will be created by 55,000. Easy enough. Everyone is clear. All the engineers, all the non-commerce background. ठीक है? हाँ, ठीक है. चलो, good. So if you understand the debit and credit, na, you will sail through the accountancy. That's why. Okay, good, very good. And you must revise this as well. Okay. Next entry, goods costing rupees 35,000 sold to Rajni Enterprise for rupees 35,000 on credit. Now what is happening here? You are selling something. Selling is your income. So one account is getting impacted here is sale. That's your revenue account. Okay. Another account is your Rajni account. That's your debtor account. Why it's a debtor account? Because you have sold something on credit. Na? You are not getting paid for it. You will be paid later. So that person, that third party is your debtor. And debtor, remember this, debtor is your asset. Why? Obviously, you are going to get payment out of it. Na? So all these resources are asset, right? And whenever asset increases, you debit it. You debit it. So Rajni Enterprise is going to be debited. Sale is your income. Whenever sale increases, you credit it. So it will be credited. Sale account will be credited. Okay? Clear. Now, this is the complete entry, complete picture. We have done each part of it, right? Okay. This is the homework. See, I have written it here so that you practice it. All the non-commerce background students. If you're from the commerce background, then you don't need to do this homework, right? But for the non-commerce background students sitting here, or if you are, even if you are from the commerce background and if you are forgetting the rules of general entry, that is the very basic part, then you need to do this homework. Okay? I have written it homework. Though you have the answers, but you are not going to look at the answers. First, you are going to do this general entry on your own in the register. Then you are going to check you are right or not. ठीक है? Correct everyone? Clear now? ठीक है. Now what is this CF? Yes, she's asking, sir, where is the PPT uploaded? PPT is uploaded in the crash course itself, na? You have the live class 1. Below that, you have live class, recorded class, and the attachment. So you can revise from the PPT, or you can take the help of PPT, right? For the homework, for the revision. That's up to you. So whatever you want to use, you can use either PPT or the summary sheet, whatever is suitable to you. Okay. Now, what is the CF? CF is carried forward. Now, this carried forward is say, see, we have the registers. Now, we have the registers when a page is filled. So you write below CF. That shows the total of debit will be carried forward to the next page, And onto the next page, you will write brought forward from the previous page. Okay. So this is your total CF. Below the end of the first page, total of debit, total of credit. Okay. And on the next page, you will write total brought forward, and you will write same total debit and total credit what you have got here. Okay. Now it is irrelevant, obviously, because in most enterprises, we are not going to do accounting in the registers, right? There are so many transactions. We use the Tally software or other ERP, enterprise resource planning softwares. Okay. But we have to study this, right? What is carried forward, what is brought forward. Okay. And this was the homework, same you have to do, and you have to evaluate yourself. Okay. And you have to practice so that you become efficient in the journal entry. Okay. Now tell me the answer of this question. Income and expenditure account is what? Now you have to tell me. Focus here. Is it real account, personal account, nominal account, or the capital account? You have to give me the answer. Think. Is it real, personal, or nominal? Okay, I have got so many answers. Now let me check. Wait for a minute. Let me check. Yeah, everyone is correct. Good. Okay. So basically, you identify whatever is not in your real and personal, that will be in the nominal. So obviously it is not the real account. Okay. It is not an asset account, so it is not a real account. It is not the personal account. It is not the natural person, artificial person, or representative personal account, right? So it is the nominal account, right? And obviously it is written income and expenditure, and you know, in the nominal account we have all the expenditure account and all the income account. So the combination of these two will also be the nominal account, right? So whatever is not included in the real and personal account, that will be included in the nominal account. Okay, clear? Everyone is correct. Most of you are correct here. Okay. Okay, good. So let's move ahead. Okay. These two again are homework questions. You don't have to give me right now the answer, but the answer is not given to you in this PPT. So you have to, below the video, you have to type the answer. Okay. If you're watching it in the YouTube, then you have to comment it. And if you're watching it in the Zoom, then below the video in the course, you have to comment what is the answer of these two questions. I'll read it for you. Which one of the following is the first book in which the transaction of a business units are recorded? Second question, wage important. This is the important question. Okay? Wages paid for installation of machinery is debited to which one of the following accounts? Very important this is. Wages paid for the installation of machinery, but I'm not going to tell you the answer right now. Just comment down the below below down the video, then I'll let you know कि you are wrong or right. ठीक है, below the video in the course or in the YouTube. ठीक है. Now after journal, what we are going to do? See, journal is finished, right? Now these journal entries, they are the books of original entries, right? They are recorded in the chronological order. Now transactions from this books, from this original book, that is journal book, are posted to their respective individual account. Individual account means the accounts we have studied, like the Ram account, Sham account, bank account. Then we have the salary account. You have the rent account, all creditors account, all the accounts we have studied now. So you are going to post the entries from the journal book to the individual account. We call it ledger account. Individual account, we call it ledger account. Okay? So ledger is what? Book containing, ledger book is what? Book containing different accounts where transactions relating to all the accounts are recorded separately. So we have the ledger book in the offline, and in that ledger book, you have different account, and only transaction related to a particular account will be entered into that account. Suppose this is the salary account, ठीक है? This is the ledger account of salary, ठीक है? Now, this side is debit, this side is, so all the transactions that relates to the sales are going to put here in this account, ठीक है? All the transactions that relates to the sales or salary, whatever is the account, ठीक है? Now, ledger is also called principal book of accounting. So the journal was called original book of entry, and this is called principal book of accounting. It contains different accounts where transactions relating to that account are entered. We have done this. Okay, let's understand with the help of example. What is the utility of ledger and how we prepare the ledger account? Let's understand that. Suppose we have the journal book. Okay. Now, by looking at the thick journal book, if someone asks you, you have the lot of entries in a journal book. If someone asks you, what is the amount that other person owe to us? Some debtor is there. We have some debtor like Mr. A, Mr. B. He has to pay us money, right? So if I ask you, you are the accountant of that company. If I ask you, how much Mr. A owes you at this particular date, will you able to tell me that? You have to shuffle through all these registers. You have to shuffle through all these pages in the register, and you have to check what is the debit amount, what is the credit amount. Okay, then you have to minus it, right? Then you are going to tell me. See, if he is your debtor, that means you have sold something to him on credit basis. Okay, so suppose you have sold something to him worth rupees 1 crore. Now he is paying you money frequently. So now his account will be credited when he is going to pay you. So debit amount was earlier 1 crore rupees, but now he's paying you frequently. Suppose he pays you 50,000, then 75. So you have to deduct all these amount from this 1 crore. Then only you can tell me na, what is the final amount that he owes us on a particular date. So it will be a very cumbersome or lengthy process, isn't it? So that's the utility of ledger. Ledger tells you the final amount that he owe us, ठीक है? Third party has to give us how much money at a particular date. This ledger tells us directly, ठीक है? I'll give you the example. Okay. ठीक है? So yeah, see, this is the format of ledger. Now Rajni Enterprise, he has Rajni Enterprise was your debtor at the 6th entry, right? Don't go, we are not going to go into the entry, right? But okay, chalo, this is the 6th entry. We have sold goods to the Rajni Enterprise, but we haven't got any payment. So this Rajni Enterprise is our debtor, right? So on the debit side, we have 35,000. But somewhere down the line, she has paid us. Rajni Enterprise has paid us 35,000. Now this Rajni Enterprise owes us how many rupees? 0. So that we can tell from the ledger account. If we have to tell this thing from the journal, it will be very cumbersome because we have to look at where the transaction is relating with the Rajni Enterprise. Okay, this is the Rajni Enterprise. Then again, we have to turn the page. Then we have to look at where Rajni Enterprise. So we have to do that for all the pages. That will be cumbersome. So from the ledger account, you can directly specify what is the debit, what is the final debit amount, or what is the final credit amount depending upon the account. Like this bank account. Bank account has a debit balance of 4,80,000 and 35,000. Then credit has been done of 60,000. So you will do the plus and minuses, right? Directly from here, and you will have your final amount. Okay, final debit amount is 4,80,000 plus 35,000, your debit amount, minus your credit amount, that is your 60,000. So final amount you will get directly from the ledger account. This is the utility of ledger. This is the utility of ledger. But don't worry, now you haven't understood how to make the ledger. You have just understood the utility of ledger. Now we are going to study how to make the ledger. Okay, don't worry, easy enough. So this is the format of ledger account, and then we will study how to post entries from journal to the ledger. See, name of the account you are going to write, then you have debit on the left side and credit on the a right hand side, right? You will write date, you will write particulars, general folio. I have told you in the beginning, or what we have in the general folio. Then we have amount, then again date, particulars, general folio, and amount. So this is the area of credit. All the credit entries will be passed here, and all the debit entries will be posted here. Okay. Okay. Now, from journal entry, how you're going to do that? Let's study this thing. First, let's suppose we have to make the ledger account of cash account. Understand this, very easy. We have to make the ledger account of cash account. So look at the entries, look at the transaction where cash is getting impacted. So this is the first entry. Again, we have the entries. Okay. Right? So what about the first entry? How you're going to post this entry to your ledger account of cash? See, cash is getting debited here. Cash is getting debited here. So on the debit side of the cash, you're going to enter your transaction. You're going to post this transaction because cash account is getting debited. So on the debit side, you're going to enter your transaction. And what you will write? You will write capital because capital is getting credited now. So you will write capital. Okay? And what will be the amount? 5 lakh, obviously. The amount of 5 lakh. Okay. So from this, you can infer the journal entry as well. So if you have been given this now, you can tell me the journal entry. What should be the journal entry? Cash account debited to capital account. Or if you have the journal entry, you can prepare the ledger account now. Again, cash account on the debit side to capital and the amount. Okay? Clear? Okay? Okay? You will not write any to or by. You can skip it. But if you want to write, you will have to write to. Okay, Mansi? Cash account debit to capital. Okay? But even if you simply write capital, it is very obvious. Okay, this capital is getting credited and cash account is getting debited. Okay? Chalo. Okay. Now, second, capital. Now we have to prepare the ledger account of capital. So now I have told you this is the debit side, this is the credit side. Now capital is getting credited here. So on the credit side, you are going to enter your transaction. So on the capital side, capital is getting credited. So what is getting debited? Your cash is getting debited, na? So you will write here cash on the credit side of capital account. So this represent this capital account and this credit represent your capital account is getting credited by whom? By cash. By how much amount? By 5 lakh rupees. ठीक है? Clear ledger account? Everyone clear? Chalo. Let's move ahead. Aditya, this is not opposite. This is in sync. This is in sync. Remember. Now, let's look at other examples. You will have the clarity. Now, let's look at the second transaction. Bank account debit to cash account. So again, we have to prepare the ledger account of cash account. This was debited and this is credit side, right? So in this case, cash is credited, right? So you will enter onto the credit side of cash account. And you will debit what? You will debit obviously your bank. So you will write bank here. So it is representing cash account is getting credited by bank by how much amount? 4,80,000. Clear? And capital was earlier already there. Okay, capital we have done. Na? This capital was already here. So in the ledger account, you do entry one by one. So what you have done in the beginning, that is already stated here. But the next entry, you have written it here. Now again, if some other entry is there for the cash, if cash is getting debited, you will write it here. If cash is getting credited in any other entry, you will write it here. So similarly, we are preparing all the accounts. Clear, everyone? How to prepare ledger account from the general. Okay, I'll give you a few more examples, don't worry. So capital we have done, right? In the credit side, we have this cash of 5 lakh. This we have done, right? Now bank account, again, very easy. From this entry, you can infer the bank account is getting debited. So on the debit side, you will write cash because cash is getting credited here now. So you will write cash and the amount will be obviously 4,80,000. So easy enough. Now easy. Everything is looking easy now. Good. Now furniture account, again same entry. Now I'll pick up the speed because I have shown you how to do that. Furniture account is getting debited. On the debit side of the furniture, you will write what? Bank account, and you will write the amount of 60,000. Clear everyone? ठीक है. Cash account, again cash account is getting debited, sorry, credited by 10,000. So cash account, on the credit side you will write plant and machinery. Why? Because cash account is getting credited through or by the plant and machinery. But remember the amount is not going to be 1,25,000 na, obviously. Cash is getting credited by 10,000 only na. So from this 1,25,000, only 10,000 belongs to the cash. The rest of 1,15,000 belongs to the Ramji Lal na. So on the cash side, on the credit side of cash, you will write only 10,000, and here you will write plant and machinery. Easy enough. Now plant and machinery, again easy. Debit. Debit how much? How much? 1,25,000. But here is the case. Debit is one, but credit are two accounts are getting credited. So you will write one by one. So you will write cash as well on the debit side. Obviously, you will write cash as well, and you will write Ramji Lal as well. Okay. On the cash, obviously you will write 10,000 because amount belongs to the cash is 10,000, and Ramji the amount that belongs to Ramji Lal is 1,15,000. So total becomes 1,25,000. So plant and machinery getting debited by 1,25,000 overall. Okay, clear? This is easy. Okay, same we are going to do with the Ramji Lal, 1,15,000 plant and machinery. Okay. Okay. So now these are all same entries, right? These are easy. I have told you the most complex entry, this thing. Okay. Now this is the all the ledger accounts we have prepared right now. Okay. Now you have got the understanding of general and how to prepare ledger from the journal itself. Okay. Now, Ronaldo, I'm going to explain debit and credit again. The rule of debit and credit. Don't worry. That is the important part, right? Okay. Now, what are the classification of ledger account? So, 5 classification. We have already talked about that. Asset, liability, capital, revenue, and expense. So, out of these 5 accounts, these 3 accounts, that is asset, liability, and capital, is your permanent account. Permanent means they are going to get carried forward to the next accounting year. Okay? These accounts, permanent account, is going to be carried forward to the next accounting year. They are not going to be closed down. This is what do we mean? This is what do we mean by permanent account. Now, this is temporary account. These two are temporary accounts. That is revenue account and the expenses account. Now, temporary account, when we say temporary account, we mean that these accounts are going to closed down. This is going to be closed at the end of the financial year. They are going to be closed down. So that's why they are being called temporary accounts. Okay? So here it is written, the temporary accounts are closed at the end of the accounting period by transferring them to the trading and the profit and loss account. Okay? And how you close them? It is written by transferring it to the trading and profit loss account, that we will discuss in tomorrow's lecture. Okay? How you transfer it to the profit and loss account. So you have got the understanding of temporary and the permanent account. Now this is the bigger picture in the accounting. First you prepare journal, right? That we have seen. From the journal you post it to the ledger account, that is the ledger book, that is the individual accounts. From the ledger you post it to the trial balance. What is this trial balance? See, trial balance is the balance of the individual ledger accounts. So whatever ledger accounts we have prepared earlier, na. So either debit will be left or credit will be left. Either debit will be more or credit will be more. It might happen that both are equal for a particular account. Then nothing is balanced. Okay? Nothing, you don't have any balance left. But if debit is more and credit is less, then we will say we have the debit balance in the ledger account. Okay? Suppose cash, we have more of debit and less of credit. Then you have debit cash balance. Okay? So for all the accounts, if you have some balances that you are going to tally, in your trial balance, because accounting says the total of debit and total of credit should always be equal. So this is the tally. This is just the mathematical part of accounts. You check the mathematical accuracy of your transactions, or you can say you try to analyze the errors that might have been occurred while you have been entering the journal entries or while posting it to the ledger account. So this trial balance basically tries to detect, not necessarily, but it tries to detects the errors, right? So this is what trial balance is. We will read it, don't worry. Okay. Now, uh, after trial balance, we have the final accounts, that is your income statement. We also call it profit and loss statement, and the balance sheet that we will study tomorrow. Okay. But this trial balance we will study today only. Okay. So what is the difference between journal and ledger? That is very easy. Obviously, key journal is the first entry, that is original entry, and ledger is the second entry, and we call it principal book of entry. Journal is made in the chronological order. Ledger is account wise summarization, you can say account wise summarization of the transaction, right? Now journal is a book of source entry because it's a source entry from the voucher. First of all, you have entered into the journal entries, so it gets more importance for the legal evidence. So to check the errors, you refer to the journal entry. See, if any error is happening, most of the time error is going to happen while entering it in the journal entry, because in the ledger you are just posting it, right? It is just the mathematical part. But in the journal, you are using the principles. In the journal, you are using the principle of accounting. What you have to debit, what you have to credit. So it might happen you have occurred a mistake, right? Now, process of recording in general is called generalizing. Very logical, nothing very rocket science here. Process of recording in the ledger is known as posting. Easy enough. Tax authorities do not rely on these books. That is why, because they have to find the tax on the profit. So if they rely on the general book, they have to plus all the debits, all the credits. They have to take care of all the income, all the expenses. That will be very cumbersome. So directly they ask for the financial statements, and basically financial statements are getting prepared through the ledger account only. So tax authorities uh, basically rely on these books, this ledger book, to find out what is the total of income, what is the total of expenses, right? And what is the profit and what is the tax on that. Correct? Entries from journal are transferred to the ledger. That we have seen. From the journal, it is getting transferred to the ledger. From the ledger, it will be transferred to the trial balance. Clear? Okay. Now you have to give me the answer of these questions. Ledger folio column of journal is used to do what? Ledger folio of the journal, not of the ledger account. Ledger folio of the ledger folio column of the journal. Record the date on which amount posted to the ledger account. Record the number of ledger account. Record the number of amounts posted to the ledger account. Record the page number of the ledger account. Okay, let me know in the chat section. I'm waiting. Everyone is correct. Very, very good. ठीक है. Good. Page number. Very well. Very good. The journal entry to record the sale of service on credit should include what? The journal entry to record the sale of service on credit should include what? Debit. क्या होनी चाहिए journal entry? What should be the journal entry? Tell me. Very easy, na? Debit to debtors, credit to capital. Debit to cash, credit to debtors. Debit to fees income, credit to debtors. Debit to debtors, credit to sales. Tell me. Okay, let me open the chart section. Let me check. Yeah. ठीक है, everyone is correct. That is sales will be credited obviously. ठीक है, कहाँ गया मेरा मार्कर? हाँ, okay. So here answer 4, everyone was correct, and here also option 4, everyone is correct, because sales will be credited and debtors will be debited. Okay, because debtors are assets and assets are increasing, so you will be debiting it, right? And sales are income, incomes are increasing, so you will be crediting it. Okay. General entry to record this is not the answer. I'm just checking my marker. Okay. The general entry to record purchase of equipment for 2 lakh cash and a balance of 8 lakh due in 30 days include what? Record purchase of equipment, not of the goods, equipment. Okay. And you have done so for 2 lakh cash and balance of 8 lakh. That is, you are buying it on credit basis. Okay. So with how many with how much amount you are going to debit your equipment. So obviously you are purchasing the equipment, so your machinery or equipment will be debited by 10 lakh rupees, that you must all be knowing by now. Okay, so debit equipment will be 10 lakh rupees, that is correct. But how much you are paying as a cash? 2 lakh rupees. So let me check the chat section now. I have given enough hints. Marker. Yeah, just a minute, let me open the chat section. Yeah, most of you are correct. Very good. ठीक है. So cash will be credited by 2 lakh and creditors will be credited by 8 lakh rupees. Easy enough. Liability is increasing, so 8 lakh will be credited. Cash is decreasing. Asset decreases, so you credit it, so it will be credited. And equipment is asset increasing, 10 lakh will be debited. Okay, everyone is correct. When a general entry is made in a general, assets are listed first, accounts to be debited listed first. Very easy. ठीक है. Option number B. So I'm not checking the chat section here because it's the easy thing. Okay. First you list the debit one. Remember the format. First you write the debit, then you write the credit. Okay, chalo, let's move ahead. If transaction is properly analyzed and recorded, only two accounts will be used to record the transaction. One account will be used to record the transaction. One account balance will increase and another will decrease. Total amount debited will equals to total amount credited. So what should be the answer here? Very, very easy question. Huh? It's called dual entry system, right? And it comes from the dual aspect concept that we have studied yesterday. Okay? So let me check the chat section. Yeah, everyone is correct. And that's very nice. Okay, chalo. Let's move ahead. Option number D would be the correct answer. All the amount debited will be equal to all the amount credited. Next question. Journal entry to record payment of monthly bill will include what? Very easy. Payment of monthly bill. Expense always gets debited. Okay? So your monthly bill will be debited. So check where monthly bill is getting debited. Here, here, and here. So you are paying cash, I guess, right? So we are supposing we are assuming कि we are paying cash. ठीक है. So if we are assuming कि we are paying cash, then cash will be credited. But if we are not paying cash, then he will be our creditor. ठीक है. Okay. So but in this we are paying cash. So option number 3 will be the answer. And let me check the chat section. Yeah, everyone is correct. Not everyone. Few of you are. I think you are giving the. Why Garima? You are saying B, debit capital. I think it is yeah, typing mistake. Yeah, okay, chalo, koi nahi. And everyone else is correct, I guess. Yeah, ठीक है. चलो, okay, ठीक है. Very, very good, everyone. ठीक है, चलो. Journal entry to record salaries will. Achha, this is the homework question. This again, you have to give me the answer below, down below the video in the comment section. If you are watching it in the YouTube and if you are watching it in the Zoom, then below the video course video. Okay, then you have to give me the answer. I'm not going to tell you the answer for this. Okay, now let's read about the subsidiary book. Okay, first of all, we are going to understand about the meaning of subsidiary book. Then we will understand the type of subsidiary book. Then this is the important part, that is debit and credit note. Okay. Now, what are the subsidiary books and why they are needed? First, let's understand that. See, we have seen that we are making the general book, right? But what happens now when there are very big organization, so there are multiple of economic events happening each second. Like we have the Reliance Jio, okay? Like we have the Spencer. Every minute, so many transactions are getting impacted, right? So many accounts are getting impacted. So many economic events are happening day by day. So it's not feasible or it is impractical to record in a record all these transactions in a chronological order. Okay? So what happens? What we do? We subdivide this journal into various books. As in, like we will say that we will have a separate book for sales transaction. We will have a separate book for purchase transaction. We will have a separate book for sales for salary transaction. Not salary exactly, but general proper. We say it general proper and other things. And we prepare all the cash transaction in a book called cash book. So like this, we divide our journal register into various books. ठीक है, like purchase book, like sales book, like cash book. ठीक है, like purchase return book, sales return book, and the general proper. We will study that. But I'm giving you the overview. Why do we do that? So that different different individual can enter the details of in the different book simultaneously. If salary is getting paid in the cash, the person who is handling the cash book is going to enter that. I'm just giving you a layman example. ठीक है, understand this. ठीक है, though now everything happens online, but you have to understand every concept, right? That's why I'm giving you layman's example. Okay, chalo. So this is the need of the subsidiary books, right? And we call them special journals, sub ledger, or the subsidiary book. ठीक है. Now these are the subsidiary books we have. What do we have? We have cash book, we have purchase book, we have purchase return book, sales return book, and general proper. And now you have to identify, the task is to identify. This is a case of principle, the concept. See, as an accountant, I am considering you as the accountant. You should know okay, which entry you are going to pass in the cash book, which entry you are going to pass in the general proper, which entry you are going to pass in the sales book. So this is the case of principle, niyam. ठीक है, in Hindi we call it niyam. ठीक है, so this is the part of journal. First of all, you need to understand this is not the ledger, this is the journal. Though it will look like the format of ledger account, but remember, subsidiary books are sub ledger. They are the classification of sub general. They are the classification of general, not the ledger. Understood? Chalo. Now let's understand one by one all the subsidiary book or sub ledgers. First one is cash book. Now this cash book is going to contain all the transactions that relates to the cash, whether you are receiving it, whether you are paying it, all the entries that are happening in cash, you are going to enter that into the cash book. Easy enough, nothing rocket science, very logical, as the name is suggesting here. ठीक है. Now, what's the format of cash book? That is important. So I'll show you the format. See, does it resemble with some other account? Yes, it resemble with the cash account, isn't it? Sir, just now you have told us कि subsidiary book is sub journal. Now you're telling us कि it looks like the cash account. Yeah. So this is what it is, right? It looks like the ledger account. And that's the reason when you prepare the cash book, you don't prepare the cash account. See, this is same as the cash account, right? Format is also same. So that's the reason when you prepare the journal book, sub journal book of cash book, you don't have any need to prepare the cash account because it is doing the work of cash account as well. Okay, clear? So this is what written here. See, when a cash book is maintained, transaction of cash are not recorded in the general. Obviously, general में तो maintain नहीं करोगे ना, because cash book is a part of general. But apart from this, if you are maintaining cash book, transactions of cash are also not recorded in the cash account. So both are true. So you also don't need to prepare the cash account. We will see that later. Don't worry. Okay. Now there are two types of cash book. First one is single column cash book. Another one is double column cash book. Very easy it is. So in the single column cash book, what happens? All the entries that relates with the cash transactions are going to get entered in the cash book. Okay, that's correct. Okay. See, it is just like the cash account. Now, I'll give you the example how to prepare this cash book. Just like we have prepared the cash account, we prepare the cash book. Okay, let's understand that. First entry is suppose we have this entry: cash account debit to Gurmeet account 12,000. So how you will prepare it? Very, very easy. This is the cash account. This is the debit. This is the credit. So on the debit side, you will enter 12,000, right? And to Gurmeet, or just Gurmeet, you will write it down. Write it Gurmeet. Just like we have seen the preparation of ledger account, you will prepare the cash book. Okay. Now, this is important. What does this CD means and what does this BD means? I'll let you know. See, when you prepare the ledger account, this cash book, what happens? You are going to add all the debit side, okay, and you are going to add all the credit side, right? Now, if your credit side is more, if your credit side is more, then you will write on the credit side to balance them. To balance them, you will write balance carried down, that is 23,400. Now, this balance of cash book, see, when you are writing carried down in the credit side, that means your debit is more, isn't it? So, this balance of cash is going to brought down to the next accounting period or next month or next year. Okay, or next quarter as well. So whatever is the policy of a company to prepare these books, this is going to be brought down, and this is going to be written down here as the debit amount. Okay, remember this thing. Carried down is the balance amount, and this carried down will be brought down in the next period as the debit balance that we are carrying from the past. Okay. Now, one thing more you need to analyze here. Ki it is very obvious na ki you will never have the more of credit balance in the cash book. Why? What is the logic? You can't spend more than what you have in the cash, isn't it? You can't spend more than the cash you have. So cash book will always have the debit balance because cash payments can't exceed basically the receipts, right? ठीक है नीरज correct है. Brought down means the opening balance. ठीक है, brought down, that's why we are telling it brought down. Okay, now uh, yeah, now I have told you this thing. Do you really think when you have the cash book, do you need to prepare the separate ledger account for cash? So the answer was no. We have discussed this thing in the beginning itself. Okay, so this is what written here. We don't have to prepare this separate ledger account when we are preparing the general book of cash book or sub journal of cash book separately. Clear? Okay. Now, okay. Now from the cash book, you are going to basically post the see, this is the type of journal na we have discussed. So obviously after the journal, you have to post that into the individual account, right? So though you don't need to transfer it to the cash account, but other account you need to maintain na. So furniture account you have to maintain, purchase account you have to maintain separately, the ledger accounts. Okay, so you have to transfer it from the cash book the same way that we have done from the journal entries. Okay, so from this cash book, what you can infer about this Gurmeet? So we can infer that cash account is getting debited because in the debit side we have the Gurmeet na. So cash account is getting debited by 12,000. I am basically writing the journal entry from the from this cash book. Cash account debited to Gurmeet. Credit, ठीक है? Now from this journal entry, you know how to post this entry to the Gurmeet accounts ledger account. So other ledger accounts you are going to prepare. ठीक है, everyone is clear. Now let's talk about the double column cash book. Nothing very technical, same. Instead of only having the cash column, see, in the cash book, we just had one column of amount. ठीक है? But in the double column cash book, we will have two columns. We will have the cash column and we will also have the bank column. That means that this book, cash book, is representing all the transactions that relates to the cash account plus bank account. Okay? So all the bank entries, amount will be entered in the bank column. All the cash entries will be done through cash column. Okay? Clear? So again, logic is same. If you're maintaining the bank transaction, obviously in the cash book, then you don't have to maintain the separate ledger account for the bank account, or you don't have to maintain the separate journal as well for the bank. Okay? Because this is the journal itself, sub journal. Okay. Now, this is example. So same example, nothing very technical here. We will discuss it briefly. Okay. So these are the transactions. So very easy. See, we have cash balance and bank balance. So how you are going to enter the balances? You are going to write balance brought down on 1st of September. So on the cash, you are going to write 15,000 cash. On the bank, you are going to write 42,000. Bank, easy enough. Now next entry, what is next entry? Purchased goods by check 12,000, check through bank. So that means in the bank column you are going to enter and onto the credit side, because you are purchasing something, so you are paying the money through the bank. So bank will be credited. So enter into the credit side. See, we have the purchases and we have the 12,000 amount. Okay, clear? So basically it is saying cash or bank account. So bank account is getting credited by purchases 12,000. This is what the entry is. Clear? Same, sales of goods for cash. So the entry would be obviously cash account debit to sales account. So on the debit side, cash account is getting debited now. So on the debit side, you will enter on the cash column. How much amount? 6,000. 6,000, and you will write sales here. So similarly, you are going to do all the entries. Clear everyone? यहाँ तक सबको क्लियर है? जल्दी बोलो, जल्दी बोलो. सबको क्लियर है? ठीक है. क्लियर ना? Ritik Das, what I need to repeat? Tell me. Yeah, everyone is clear. Okay, very very good. This is same as the ledger account. ठीक है? ठीक है? एक बार हिंदी में रिपीट कर देता हूँ, बड़ा इजी. और एंट्री पढ़ लेते हैं, समझ में आ जाएगा. चलो देखो, तो 3 एग्जांपल और देख लो. ठीक है? द वंस हु आर सेइंग रिपीट, तो आई एम गोइंग टू रिपीट इट इन हिंदी one more time for other example as well, then you will have the clarity. How? See, sold goods and received, okay, this entry, purchase goods from Mariwala in cash. Now what is happening here? What is the entry? Purchase account debit, cash account credit. ठीक है? So in the cash book you are going to get entry, you are going to write entry into the credit side. What you are going to write as the amount? 17,400. 17,400. And on the cash column, why cash column? Because you are paying in cash. ठीक है? And you have purchased goods, so purchase account will be debited, so you will write here purchase. ठीक है? Clear? That same way we have done this thing. ठीक है? Okay, what is the double book system? Double entry system? That means कि at least one account is getting debited and another account will be credited. At least 2 accounts will be impacted. This is what double entry system is, and that we got from the dual aspect concept. ठीक है? डबल एंट्री सिस्टम सेज कि all the debits will be equal to all the credits. ठीक? Clear? Okay. now we will move ahead with the purchase book and just keep writing your doubts if any. वैसे I think you don't have any doubt for right now because everything was very easy. अच्छा, what about the balancing? है ना? Yeah, balancing is done on the same lines that we have done for the ledger accounts, same way. ठीक है? चलो. Now we will move ahead with the purchase book. What is this purchase book? Or the purchase journal, we can call it. So now, whatever we have purchased on the cash basis, everything is getting recorded in the cash book. That you know. Everything is getting recorded in the cash book. But suppose we have purchased our goods on the credit basis, then what is going to happen? And this entry is going to get recorded in the purchase book. In the purchase book. When we have purchased something, but it's not something when we have purchased goods on credit basis, then okay. But when we have purchased that good on a cash basis, we enter it on the cash book. When we are purchasing office equipment, furniture on the cash basis, again it is entered in the cash book. But when we purchase goods on the credit basis, it will be entered into the purchase book. Now this thing is very important. Remember, when we purchase equipment, office equipment, furniture, all the assets on the credit basis, you are not going to enter that into the purchase book. Remember, you are not going to enter that into the purchase book. Why, sir? Why you are telling us that? Because purchase book only enters the transaction that relates with the purchase of goods. ठीक? Clear? Okay. So here we are purchasing equipment, assets. Even if we are purchasing it on the credit basis, that is not going to get entered into the purchase book. That we will enter into the general proper that we will study in the later part. ठीक है? Now, what is the format of purchase book? This is the format of purchase book. Okay, yeah, this is the format of purchase book. Now you will resemble here, you will see here कि it resemble with the debit side of the purchase account. See, this is the purchase account we have studied earlier. This is the debit side, this is the credit side. ठीक है? Now this purchase book, that is sub journal of purchase of journal, we have the format similar to the debit side of purchase. We don't have, see, remember in the cash book we had the debit side as well as the credit side, remember? But in the purchase book we have the debit side only. Matlab, it is similar to the debit side of purchase account. So when you are purchasing something from the supplier on credit basis, you are directly going to write the name of that supplier here, date, invoice number, ledger folio where you are entering it in the ledger book, and the amount. That's it. No credit entry. Okay? Chalo. So this is the like, see, it is written here. It is like the debit side of the purchase account. Now, you tell me, when we prepare the purchase book, when we prepare, I'm asking you this question. When we prepare the purchase book, do we have to prepare the purchase account, that is account, ledger account of purchase? Yes or no? Tell me the answer of this question. When we are preparing the purchase journal book, do we have to prepare the ledger account of purchase or not? Yes or no? Okay, everyone is saying, most of you are saying yes, and yes, you are absolutely correct. Why? Because this purchase book only enters the transaction which we have purchased on the credit basis. This doesn't give you the details of the purchases that we have done on the cash basis. So it is not the complete ledger. So therefore we have to prepare the separate ledger account as well. Okay, clear? That's the logic. Okay, you need to understand everything with the logic. Okay, very logical subject accounts is. So you don't have to mug up anything. Understand everything with the logic and then revise it and practice. Okay, this is the example. Very easy. Purchase book to prepare purchase book doesn't need any rocket science. It is very easy to prepare this. You have this first question that says you have purchased from Nima Electronics this many TV at 2000 per piece, and this many at this, and trade discount is this. So nothing very technical here. You are just going to first of all calculate the amount, total amount. Basically, how you're going to do that? Very easy. 20 into 2000. Why? 20 mini size TV at 2000 per piece. Very easy. 15 tape recorders at rupees 12,500. 15 tape recorders at 12,500. Total will be 2,27,500, and after 20% discount, it becomes 1,82,000. So in the purchase book, how you're going to enter that? You're going to write date, invoice number. Invoice number is given to you, I guess. Oh yeah, this is the invoice number, and the supplier is Nima Electronics. And why you are entering it? Because you are purchasing it on the credit basis, and you are going to enter the amount. That's it. So similarly, you are going to enter all the purchases directly in the purchase book when you have purchased the goods on the credit basis. Very easy it is. Okay, clear everyone? Okay. Now, do we need to maintain the separate purchase account? Yes, you have given me the right answer. This we have discussed. Okay. Now let's talk about the purchase return book. Very easy. Purchase return book is basically that book that we prepare when we return the goods what we have purchased on the credit basis. Okay, understand? Purchase return of goods, earlier purchase on credit, not purchase return of goods, return of goods. Okay, return of goods earlier purchased on credit. So when you are returning the goods, then you will enter that transaction into the purchase return book, and that is also very easy. Okay, so this is the general entry. If you are returning, if your company returned goods of 2000 to Raman traders, so obviously when you have purchased the goods from the Raman traders, this Raman trader will was your creditor, so you have created Raman's account, right? But now you are returning goods. Now you are returning goods. Okay, so your creditors, your liability is getting decreased now. So therefore, Raman traders are getting debited here. Remember the modern way, modern approach. when you have purchased goods from the Raman traders, that Raman trader was your creditor. So earlier you have credited it. Now you are returning goods to the Raman trader. So now your liability is decreasing. Now you don't have to pay that much money that you had to pay earlier because you are returning some goods. Okay, so your liability is decreasing. So Raman trader is going to get debited. Decrease in liability, we debit it, remember? Okay, so 2000. Now, purchase return. So you are going to credit it. Why? Purchase return is getting credited here. That is very easy. Purchase always get debited because it's an expense. So it is the reverse of that. So that's why purchase return is getting credited here. Okay. Now, what is the format? So it just looks like the credit side of the purchase account, purchase return account. So when you will enter this transaction into the purchase return account, how will it will look like? On the credit side, you will enter Raman traders. That is easy now. Purchase return, credit side. So you will enter on the credit side Raman traders 2000. So this portion is just like this: purchase return book. So again, very easy. You're directly going to write the name of supplier to whom you are returning goods. Okay, clear? Very easy. Now this concept is very much important. That is your debit note. Now I'll give you the logic why and when we prepare the debit note. Listen to me very carefully. This is important. Okay. See what happens. Ki you have earlier purchased goods from the supplier. Now you are returning it. So earlier you have created his account. When you have purchased the goods from him, he was your creditor. You haven't paid money to him, right? So he was your creditor. So earlier you have created his account. Now you are returning goods. Now you are returning goods. So now you are debiting his account because he is no longer the same creditor. The amount of credit is going to get decreased now. Now, so to inform him about this decrease, you prepare the debit note. And what you write, remember it like this: you are preparing the debit note to inform him. Okay, suppose we are in the same company. We are preparing the debit note to inform him that we are debiting your account. Earlier, we have credited your account by suppose 1 lakh rupees, but now we are returning goods worth rupees 20,000. So now we are debiting his account by 20,000. So that's why we are giving him debit note, because we are informing him we are debiting his account. That's the logic. Why the name is given debit note. Accounts is all about logic. Nothing is happening here without logic. Okay? So you need to understand every concept with the logic. That's how you're going to retain that logic. Otherwise, you will be confused. When we use debit note, when you use credit note. Debit note is clear. Very easy. This is okay. Now, when you understand the logic, this is very easy. Okay. And see, you have the recorded classes as well. Okay. So when you revise from the PPT or anything from anywhere, if you find it difficult to recall what we have discussed here, the logic behind everything, you can go behind the you can again watch the recorded session to understand the logic. Okay, that facility is available to you. Okay. Now I'll one more time explain this when we are going to explain the credit note. See, just like debit note, we have the credit note now. So when we were discussing credit note, again in Hindi, I'll tell you what is debit note and credit note. Okay, chalo, let's move ahead. Okay, this we have discussed, right? This is easy. Just you have to just write the name of the supplier and the amount worth of goods you are returning. Okay, that's easy. Now sales book. What is a sales book? Again, very easy. When you are selling something on cash, it will be recorded in the cash book. And when you are basically selling something on credit, then sale book is going to come into the picture. Okay? Okay? Okay. Okay. Okay, Shardhan. Okay, don't worry. Chalo. कहाँ थे हम? हाँ. So credit sale, when credit sale is there, then we will have the sales book. Okay. Now, same as the purchase book, we have the format of sales book, but the difference is the credit side of sales account look exactly as the sale book. Obviously, because sale is credited always, right? So this journal book look like the credit side of sale account. ठीक है? So on the sale book, what you are going to write? The name of the customer. So you are selling na, now he is not your supplier, he is your customer. So you are going to write your customer name here, to which or to whom you are selling the goods on credit. Easy enough. ठीक है? Same. And you tell me, do we need to prepare the sale account separately or not? When we are preparing the sale book, that is a sale book, subsidiary book, do we need to prepare the sale account separately? Yes or no? Just answer me, give me the answer in one word, yes or no. Okay, let me check. I have started to get the answers. Okay, everyone is saying yes. That's really nice. Everyone is correct. ठीक है. Why? Because in the sale book, we are only entering the transaction that relates to the credit sale. So what about the and the sales account? The sales ledger account is going to get is going to have the information about the cash sales as well. That's why. Okay, this is the logic. Okay, let's move ahead. This is the preparation part. That's the easy part. Okay. Yeah, sales account needs to be maintained separately. Okay. Now let's talk about the sales return. Acha, one more thing. This purchase return is return outwards, as the name is given. And this is also very logical. Outward. When you do the outwards, when you have purchased something and you are returning something, that's why we are calling it outwards. And why sales return is being called return inwards? Because we have sold something. We are in the same team. Whenever we are studying, we are in the same team. So we have sold something goods to outside party. He is returning us goods. So for us, it is inwards. That's why the logic. That's why sales return is also called sales inwards. Now, so which entries you are going to enter here? Very easy. So earlier you have done the sales on credit basis. Now you got the return from those sales. So you will enter it into the sales return book. Okay. What will be the format? How the format is going to look like? Very easy. Just like the debit side of sales return. Just like the debit side of sale return. Why? Obviously, sales return will be debited. Na? Sale account is always credited. So sale return is the reverse of that. So it will be debited. So it looks just like the debit side of the sale return account. And this is easy. Name of the customer you are going to write. From whom we have got the return, we are going to write that customer name. Okay, with the amount and the ledger folio. Okay. Now let's talk about the इसको क्या हो गया मार्कर को. अच्छा हाँ, now let's talk about the credit note. We have talked about the debit note ना. Okay, I'll now explain you this thing, debit note and credit note in Hindi. ठीक है, because few students have asked me to do that. ठीक है, for this debit note and credit note. ठीक है, then I'll repeat it in English as well. English I have already discussed this in English, right? Now for the credit note, what is happening here? अच्छा in Hindi क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? हम कुछ सामान बेच रहे हैं कस्टमर को. ठीक है, वी आर सेलिंग सम गुड्स टू दी कस्टमर. हमने कुछ बेचा सामान. नाउ जब हमने बेचा सामान तो हमने इसको क्रेडिट में बेचा सामान. हमने जो सामान बेचा तो हमने इसको क्रेडिट में बेचा. ठीक है, और जब हमने इसको क्रेडिट में सामान बेचा तो वो हमारा क्या है? डेटर है कि क्रेडिटर है? डेटर है ना. जब हमने इसको सामान बेचा क्रेडिट में तो वो हमारा क्या है? डेटर है, क्योंकि वो हमें बाद में रुपए पेमेंट करेगा, तो वो हमारा डेटर है. तो उसके अकाउंट को हमने डेबिट कर दिया होगा. उसके अमाउंट को हमने डेबिट कर दिया होगा जब हमने सामान को सेल किया, जब हमने सामान बेचा. अब हमें उससे सामान वापस मिल रहा है. हमें उससे सामान वापस मिल रहा है तो हम उसको इन्फॉर्म करेंगे. अच्छा, तुम हमको सामान वापस कर रहे हो. हम लोग एक ही टीम में, वो हमको सामान वापस कर रहा है. अब वो सेम अमाउंट का डेटर नहीं रहा. मान लो पहले हमने सामान बेचा था 1 लाख रुपए का, उसने 20,000 का सामान वापस कर दिया हमें. तो अब वो कितने का डेटर रहा? अब वो रहा सिर्फ 80,000 का डेटर. और 80,000 का डेटर करने के लिए हमको 20,000 का अमाउंट क्रेडिट करना पड़ेगा उसके अकाउंट में. पहले हमने डेबिट किया था 1 लाख रुपीज. अब वी हैव टू क्रेडिट 20,000 in his account so that we get total amount of 80,000 as the debit balance. So now we will inform him. अब हम उसको इन्फॉर्म करेंगे कि देखो अब तुम्हारा अकाउंट हम क्रेडिट कर रहे हैं 20,000 से. सो दैट्स वाई वी प्रिपेयर दी क्रेडिट नोट. कहाँ गया मार्कर मेरा? ये है. सो दैट्स वाई वी प्रिपेयर दी क्रेडिट नोट. क्लियर? सो क्रेडिट नोट इज प्रिपेयर बाय द सेलर. ऑब्वियसली हम सेल कर रहे थे ना, रिमेंबर हम सेल कर रहे थे, सेल्स रिटर्न हमको मिला, तो वी प्रिपेयर द क्रेडिट नोट टू इन्फॉर्म हिम अबाउट कि वी आर क्रेडिटिंग हिज अकाउंट. And debit note is prepared by the buyer, because earlier in the debit note we have purchased something and we were returning, so we were informing him कि we are debiting your account. Now clear? मैंने हिंदी में समझा दिया, इंग्लिश में समझा दिया. ठीक है, इसको एक बार रिवाइज करोगे? ठीक है. ओके, you have the recordings, you must revise it multiple times. ठीक है. Okay, now this is easy. Okay, sales return book we have done, so you have to just write the customer's name and you have to write the amount. Okay, yes, sales return account has to be maintained. ठीक है. ठीक है, clear? Okay, now what is the logic of maintaining sales return account? ठीक है, you have to maintain that. You know what is the logic, same as that logic that we have given you. ठीक है, earlier also. Now you have to tell me the answer. Logic you know na, कि when you have returned the sales that you have done on the cash basis, that's why sales return account needs to be maintained separately, because sales return general book is only considering the sales return that we have done on the credit basis. That's why this is the logic. Okay, chalo, tell me the answer of this question. goods purchased goods purchased on cash are recorded in which book? Purchase, sales, cash, purchase book. फटाफट से आंसर दो. ओके, हाँ, ये क्या हो रहा है भाई? कुछ why some people are giving me wrong answer here? इसमें क्या था? We are purchasing goods on cash. हाँ, okay, most of you are correct. Okay, only Pratik is incorrect. Pratik, why? Akhil, why one? Why one? Tell me. You are purchasing goods on cash. Okay, everyone else is correct. So it will be cash book na. You are purchasing goods. Goods purchased on cash na. Cash. Okay, everyone else is correct. Very good. Chalo, ठीक. Okay, option number 3. Tell me the answer of this question. Acha, read the question carefully. Huh? Don't be in haste to give the answers. Read the question carefully, then give me answer. Cash book does not record transaction of cash nature, credit nature, cash and credit nature. None of the above. Tell me what should be the answer here. Okay, everyone is correct here. Okay, second answer. Okay, that was easy. Chalo, let's move ahead. Cash book doesn't consider the credit transaction. Okay. Total of these transaction is posted in purchase account. Total of these transaction. Purchase of furniture, cash and credit purchase return. See, we are talking about purchase account, not about the, मेरा marker कहाँ है? Okay, we are talking about the purchase account, not about the purchase book. So look at the question very carefully. Purchase of furniture, cash and credit purchases, purchase return, purchase on stationery. Tell me what should be the answer out of these 4 options. Let me check the chat section. Who all are correct? Okay, everyone is correct. Good. Option number B. Okay, very, very good. Chalo. I'm glad to see this. I'm really glad to see this. Okay. ठीक है. So ledger भी clear हो गया आप सबको. The periodic total of sales return journal is posted to what? Periodic total of sales return journal is posted to what? Is posted to what? Sales account, goods account, purchase return account, sales account. अरे बड़ा easy है ना? This is very easy. This is journal. When you will post it in the ledger, same ledger account you are going to use, right? ठीक है. So everyone is correct here as well. That is sales return account. Yes, everyone is correct. ठीक है. चलो. You are now clear about all these subsidiary books. You have good clarity about the subsidiary books. Okay. See, these basics are not only useful for SEBI, but each and every exam you are going to write from now onwards. ठीक है? Though it is not explicitly written in the syllabus of SEBI, but this is very essential to have the basic foundation of the accounts. ठीक है? Subsidiary books, journal, ledger, ठीक है? And the journal entries, because entries could be asked in the examination. What is debited, what is credited, ठीक है? Periodic total of purchase return journal is posted. अरे इजी है, चलो इसको आगे बढ़े, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू डिस्कस दैट, ठीक है। ऑप्शन नंबर 3, यू नो द आंसर, ओके। चलो, अब वेयर वी आर लेफ्ट विथ ओनली one book, that is general proper book. Now whatever entries we have done till now, whatever transactions we have seen till now, all these entries we have selected the book, the general book. Now whatever entries left, all the entries will be prepared, will be entered into the journal proper, and this journal proper is same as the journal register, nothing different here. You are preparing separate books for the specific transactions, but whatever transaction is left, everything will be entered in the normal register that we call general proper, correct hai? So what will be the example? Purchase, sale of item on credit other than goods. अच्छा ये बताओ, tell me one thing, कि we have seen कि when we purchase or sale machinery, equipments, assets on cash basis, we write it in the cash book, ठीक है। But when we purchase machinery, equipment on credit basis, do we have any specific book? No, we don't have. So we are going to enter it into the general proper. Similarly, goods withdrawn by the owner, general proper. Goods distributed as samples, for sales promotion, general proper. So every other entry that is not going to be the part of any other subsidiary book, that we are going to enter into the general proper. Okay? And by the same way that we have done in the general entries, loss of goods by the fire, theft, general proper. Any discount in the final settlement, general proper. Okay? I'll give you the example as well. Okay. Now, you know, if some entry is not getting passed into the other books, video is paused. Is video paused? Everything is good now? Everything is good? Confirm me, फटाक से बताओ जल्दी। ओके ठीक है, ओके ऑल गुड, चलो 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 ठीक है। वन एस्पिरेंट वाज सेइंग video pause. I think his net connection was paused, I guess. Okay, chalo, everything is good, chalo. So in the general proper, now you have to tell me ki, suppose which entries are going to get into the general proper or not. You have to tell me now. First entry is deposited in the bank, so you are depositing cash into the bank. So is this going to be entered into the general proper? No. Why? Because this is the part of cash book. Very easy. Purchased for cash furniture, again no, because this is the part of cash book. Purchased on account means on credit basis. Furniture for quality furniture limited for rupees 8,000, yes, it will be entered into the general proper because we are purchasing the asset on the credit basis. It is not going to be entered in any other book. Paid for advertisement rupees 1,200, ठीक है, generally we paid in the cash, so yes, it is going to be entered into the cash book, so not in the general proper. Okay. Says to Miss Nutan on account, why invoice this? So sale is being done now on credit, so sales book, not the general proper. Paid electricity bill, no, not in the general proper. Made full and final settlement, discount diya hai ki nahi diya hai, we have to see. Yeah, discount is allowed, so discount entry will be done in the general proper, yes, because discount entry is not entered into some other book, right? Telephone bill for rupees 2,700 by check, again not in the general proper. Purchase stationery on account, stationery you are purchasing from Mohit, so yes, because it is not the goods, it is the stationery, right? एडवर्टीजमेंट एक्सपेंस, हाँ कैश बुक में ही आना है। और अखिल इज आस्किंग कैश बुक में आएगा या फिर एक्सपेंस कोई बुक थोड़ी होती है, कैश बुक होती है, परचेज बुक होती है, सेल बुक होती है, ठीक है, एंड जनरल प्रॉपर इज द बुक, राइट? सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी एंटर्ड इनटू द कैश बुक. इट इज एन एक्सपेंस ऑब्वियसली, account is the type of expense account, but it will be entered into the cash book ना, because we are paying it in cash, ठीक है अखिल? okay, चलो. Now what would be the entry would be same, just like the general entry we have done. Purchase and purchase on account furniture, so obviously furniture account will be debited because assets are getting increased, and this quality furniture is our creditor, right? Because he is giving us debt in the form of furniture, so he will be credited. So entry will be same in the general proper. and the second and third same entry will be there. But remember, in the second entry, only the discount entry will be passed. Only the discount entry will be passed in the general proper. The settlement entry. So you have paid the some amount. You have paid the amount in cash. So that cash amount obviously will be entered into the cash book. But entry for the discount will be entered into the general proper. That is the miscellaneous book. We can call it miscellaneous book. ठीक है. Purchase stationery on same stationery account debit to Mohit Mart account. Nothing very technical. Okay. Now you have to tell me the answer of this question. Achha, this is the homework. You have to tell me in the comment section below the video. Okay. Now let's understand about the trial balance. We have seen this now. Ki first we prepare the general, and then we transfer it, then we post it to the ledger account, then we transfer it to the trial balance. Trial balance is easy. Okay, I have given you the brief about it. Now let's discuss this trial balance in detail. Okay. Now, double entry accounting system, we have discussed all the debits must be equal to the all the credits. This is what trial balance does. It inspects if all debits are getting equal to the all credits or not. This is what this trial balance does. Now, when you prepare the trial balance, we will understand how to do that. Okay. So this general, after general we prepare the ledger account, then we prepare the trial balance. How do we do that? That's the important part, right? So we have discussed this in the beginning. What we do, first understand the trial balance format, then I'll let you know. See, the format is, you will write individual accounts, all the accounts for which you have prepared the ledger account. Remember, cash, salary, all the accounts, Mohan, Sohan, each and every account. You're going to write the name of all the accounts. Now remember, we used to balance the accounts. We used to balance the account for the permanent accounts. Okay? We used to balance the account of permanent account, remember? Or we used to see if debit is more and credit is more. So if debit is more, then we say debit balance is there. Oh, easy enough. In the ledger account, suppose cash debit is more than the cash credit. So we say debit balance is there. Similarly, for the salary paid, we will obviously we are paying salary, so it will be credited, right? So we will say credit balance is there. Matlab, how much credit is more than that of debit. Okay? And whatever is that amount of balance, that we are going to directly enter into our trial balance. Only the balance amount, not the complete amount. Suppose I'll give you the example. Suppose total of debit side of the cash account, let's suppose, is 1 lakh rupees. Okay? Debit side. Total of credit side of the cash account is suppose 75,000. What you will say? You will say cash account has the debit balance of 25,000. Easy enough. So here what you will write? You will write cash account, and in the debit balance you will write 25,000. Oh सर इतना easy था? बिल्कुल इतना easy है. ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही समझ रहे हो, इतना easy है. So similarly you are going to prepare the list of all the accounts and you are going to write the balances of all the accounts. Clear इतना? ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now, one thing you need to remember, this is the list of all the accounts. By logic, you will say that capital will have the credit balance. Now remember the modern approach to do the debit and credit. Remember what we have studied. Now it will be revised. One student was asking me to sir repeat that thing, that debit and credit. So that will be repeated here. Okay. See what we have discussed in the previous. So we had discussed that whenever capital is increased, we credit it. Remember this, na? So by logic, we will say that capital will have the credit balance. Now let's look at the lands and buildings. Lands and buildings are included in the asset, and in the rule we have discussed, the modern approach we have discussed this. Whenever assets increases, we debit it. Remember, na? Assets and expenses, whenever they get increased, we debit it. So all the asset account and all the expenses account, most of the time, will have the debit balance. Oh, shortcut. So see, look at the tick now. Land and buildings are the assets. Plant and machinery are the assets. Equipment, assets. Furniture, fixtures, asset. Cash in hand, assets. So these have the debit balance. ठीक है. Debtors, asset. Bills receivable, assets. Stock of raw material, assets. Finished goods, stock of finished goods, closing stock, assets. Purchases. Now, purchases are not the assets, but they are the expenses. So when expenses increases, ठीक है, when expenses increases, what do? We debit it, obviously. ठीक है. So that's how. Don't worry, Anupam. If your net was lost in between, don't worry. Just get in the flow. There was nothing which we have discussed in the previous 2 slides. It is the repetition what I am doing right here. Okay? And you can watch the recorded session for 2 slides. Don't worry about that. If the net was lost for 2 or 3 slides, okay? Don't worry about it. Just focus here. What I'm telling you. This is important. Now, purchases was the expense. So we know expenses are debited. Now, carriage inwards. Again, expense. Carriage outward, expense, debit. Sale. Now, apart from these two, what do we have? Capital, liability, you can say, and the income. So for these 3 categories, what do we have? Whenever they increase, we credit it. Remember, now when we increase the asset and expense, we debit it. So obviously, when we increase the other three, that is capital, liability, and income, we are going to credit it, obviously. Okay? So see what is written here. Sales has the credit balance shortcut. Sales return will have the debit balance, obviously, na? Because sale was your income, so sale has the credit balance. Sales return is the opposite of that, so that's why it has a debit balance. Purchase return, credit balance. Interest paid, expense, so debit balance. Commission received income, so credit balance. Salary paid, debit balance. Long-term loans, liability is credited whenever it is increased. Bills payable, again liability, credited. Creditors, again liability, it will be credited. Advance from customers, again your liability, that will be credited. So this is the illustrative trial balance, and how you have come to the conclusion that which account is going to have debit balance and which account is going to have credit balance, that I have explained to you. Okay, clear? now how you're going to enter these entries or these balances into the trial balance, we will see that. Okay, let's understand that. See, entries are same that we have discussed earlier, and the ledger accounts are also same. But right now I am discussing with you how we are going to enter the balance amount to the trial balance, and that is very, very easy, right? So we have this cash account, in which in the debit side we have capital and the sales, right? And on the credit side we have the furniture and the purchases. So total of debit is 120 and total of cash is 40. What is the balance of debit amount? Obviously 120 minus 40, that is 80. Now let's look at the answer. See, debit balance is 80. Got it? Now, one more thing I want to tell you here. All the temporary accounts, this is what I am telling you for the knowledge point of view. All the temporary accounts you have, that is going to get transferred or closed down at the end of financial year, like income account, expenses account. Remember? These are the temporary accounts. All these temporary accounts, you are not going to write the carried down. You're not going to balance it. Temporary, you are not going to balance the temporary accounts. The logic is very simple. This is going to get transferred to the profit and loss account. That's why. But as far as permanent account is concerned, that is your asset, liability, and capital, that is going to get carried forward to the next year. So you have to close it. You have to basically balance it. Okay? So therefore, you can see here in the ledger account, you can see in the cash account, you are doing the balance carried down. But in the purchases, you are not writing any carried down. This is the logic I'm telling you. Okay? Why you are not writing carried down in the purchases, in the sales, but why you are writing it in the cash, capital, and furniture. ठीक है, एंड कैरी डाउन अमाउंट इज वेरी सिंपल, डेबिट इज 10, ठीक है, क्रेडिट इज 0, so obviously your debit balance is 10. So you are going to write on the credit side balance carried down 10 to balance it, ठीक है, and this carried down balance is going to get carried forward as the brought forward amount, brought down amount in the next accounting period, ठीक है, brought down, we call it brought down. Now I have told you the logic of that, but to prepare the trial balance only this much is enough. That is, suppose this cash was there and we have talked about this cash, the total was 120 and here the total was 40, so 120 minus 40 is 80, ठीक है, you can directly look at this 80 as well, carried down. So if carried down is written on the credit side, that signifies it has debit balance, so therefore we are writing debit balance of cash as 80. Now look at any other example like capital. So capital has more of credit balance, as you can see here. You have the credit balance of credit of entry of 100, but debit entry of 0. So you have credit balance of 100 in the capital. Now look at the trial balance. See, trial balance is showing you credit balance of capital as 100. So this you are going to do for each and every account, and then you are going to total it, and you will see this will be matching with each other, and that signifies ki, basically if they are not matching, then that signifies ki there must have been some error. But if they are matching, there is no guarantee there is no error. But if they are not matching, if debit is not getting equal to the credit, then it shows you, if debit is not equal to credit, then it shows you that there must have been some error. But in this case, it is equal. So you won't be able to say definitely that there is error. There might be, there might not be. But if they are not equal, then you will definitely say there is error. Okay? Now, this method is known as balances method of trial balance. Okay? There is one more method, and that method is basically totals method, but that is not required from the examination point of view. This method is only enough. Okay. Now, okay, this we have done, right? This, see, balances method we have. See, balances method, this is not required, but I'll tell you in brief what is that. Look at the example directly. So in the balances method, what you used to do in the balances method, you used to write just the balance of either debit or either credit, remember? But in the total method, what you do, you write total of all the debit, you write total of all the debit of 120 in the debit side, and you write all the total of credit side on the credit side, that is 40. So that's how you can do. So in that case also, total debit will be equal to total credit, though the amount will not be same as earlier. So earlier the total was 120 because we were only taking the balances amount, but now we are taking the total of debit, so it is more, but it is equal because the question is same. Okay. Okay. Now what is the use of balance method, and what is the use of this trial balance? We have come to the conclusion from this, if the balances are not matching, we can conclude there must have been some error while doing the journal entry, or while posting the journal entries to the ledger account, or maybe in totaling, or maybe in transferring the balance amount to the trial balance. Errors can happen in any step. Okay. Now, so what are the objectives of this trial balance that we have discussed? But let's read out the official or bookish language. To ascertain the arithmetical accuracy of the ledger account. So if your journal is correct, but you haven't done the addition of your ledger account correctly, the trial balance is going to detect that, because it is going to take the total of balances and it will see if it is matching or not. It might help in locating errors as well, again by the same method. In preparation of financial statements, very important objective. So from the trial balance, whatever balances you have, okay, you directly put these balances into your financial statements, that is into your income statement and balance sheet that we have to study tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So this is one of the objective. Now, the debit and credit side will always be equal if they are equal. If they are not equal, then there must be some error, right? This we have discussed. Now, so I have told you, does trial balance always catches error? Suppose they are equal. Can we 100% say, can we 100% say that there would not be any error? No. You can't say definitely that there would not be any error. It might happen that there was some error, but that error has been compensated by some any other error as well. I'll give you the example. Don't worry. See, this is the example. Suppose bank needs to be debited by 100 and capital needs to be credited by 100. Okay. Now, you are the accountant. What you have done? You have debited the cash account by 150 and you have credited the capital account by 150. So now total of debit and credit is same. It is 150. When you will prepare the trial balance, it will not show the difference between debit and credit. But can you say there is no error? No, you can't, because there is some error, isn't it? So that means you got error, but you are not able to detect it. Right? So therefore, does trial balance always catches error? We can say no. The answer is no. Now, when we are talking about the errors, let's understand when errors can happen. This we have already discussed. In the journal, it can happen while posting it to the ledger accounts or while preparing the trial balance, it can happen. But the thing is, what are the types of errors? Errors we now know, but what are the types of errors we have? So now I'll give you the trick from which you can identify the error. Please listen to me very carefully. This is important. This can be asked in the examination. So I'll discuss this thing with you with the help of trick. So what is this error of commission? See, when you have the error of commission, see, you have different errors, right? So whenever there is a clerical mistake, that means accountant, you are the accountant, your full focus, if your full focus is not on maintaining the records, then you might by mistake do some errors. These errors we call the error of commission. So commission, C for commission, C for clerical mistake. I'll give you one more example. Suppose in the exam, not in the examination, suppose in the previous examination, not in the SEBI, you have done some silly mistakes in the competitive government competitive examination. You know how to do addition, but in the quant section, because time is less, in the haste, in the hurry, you have done the wrong calculation. So this is the type of commission, error of commission. Because you know the concept, you know the principle, but because due to lack of focus, ठीक है, तभी मैं बोलता हूँ कि focus here. I always talk about the focus. So this is the error of commission. Now, in the commission, you can we have talked about all the clerical mistakes. ठीक है, that has been due to the focus level. ठीक है, but what is this error of principle? Now I'll give you example. Suppose question is asked in the examination to you in the accounts, which account you will be debiting, and you are making a guess. ठीक है, you don't know the concept, which account to debit and which account to credit. You are making a guess. You are analyzing it on your own assumptions. ठीक है, you don't know the concept. Then this is the error of principle. Now, if accountant has not the understanding, complete understanding, I can say, of the concept, of the principles, then we will say that's the error of the principle. When he lacks in the concepts, suppose I'll give you one more example. I have told you in the previous concept questions where we are going to enter the transaction that relates, suppose, to the selling of, not selling, purchase of furniture on credit basis. Some of you might say, sir, journal proper. Some of you might say purchase book. So those who are saying purchase book, they are committing the mistake of principle. This is the error of principle. So when you are the accountant, if you have done the same mistake, this will be called as the errors of principle. Got the understanding? Omission is very easy when you have left something out, either partially or fully. ठीक है, इस बात समझ में आती है? एक स्लाइड में मैंने पूरा कमीशन, पूरा एरर्स बता दिए with logic and with trick, with examples. Okay, now you will never forget it because I have given you the example of government competitive examination. So now what's the target? Not to do the error of commission exam, that is not to do the silly mistakes due to the lack of focus level. If you don't know something, that is also bad, obviously, but if you know something and then also you are doing the error of commission, then it's going to impact your performance in the examination. ठीक है, clear? चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. So I have discussed this thing, right? So now see, this is the example basically saying which error is going to impact the total of, or which error is going to disbalance the trial balance, total of trial balance. So obviously, when you have to debit the Pritpal account by 25,000 and when you are doing it by 2,500, so obviously it is going to lead to the imbalance in the trial balance because you are doing the wrong entry only while posting it to the ledger account of the Pritpal account. Cash you are crediting correctly while preparing the cash account. ठीक है, you have done the correct entry of 25,000, but you have done the mistake while writing one more zero, clerical mistake, right? So this is going to imbalance or disbalance the trial balance. Obviously, total of debit and credit is not going to be matched now. ठीक है. So this I have told you what is accounting of principal and what is accounting of commission. This we have also discussed, right? Okay. Now, one more thing I want to tell you in the errors of principal. Suppose you don't know, as an accountant, you don't know what is the revenue expenditure, what is the capital expenditure. You don't know which transaction I have to enter into the profit loss account and which transaction I have to enter into the balance sheet. Then again, it's the error of principal. Okay, so this is also a way to remember this. So I have told you in the beginning itself, in the first slide, when you don't know the concept, when you have entered the wrong entry due to the lack of concept, then it's the error of principle. But when you have done the wrong entry due to the lack of focus, then it's the error of commission. Omission is simple, nothing very technical there. Okay, chalo. See, I'll give you one more example. Sale of machinery credit into a sales account. Now, see, it should not be entered into the sales account. This is the error of principle because machinery is an asset. When you have purchased it, you have debited it. When you have sold that, machinery will be credited. When you have purchased machinery, machinery is getting debited. But when you have sold it, machinery will be credited, not the sales account. This is the lack of concept of on the part of the accountant. So it is the type of error of principle. ठीक है, चलो. Omission is easy. Let's read out the example, then you will know. Suppose Rajhans traders paid 25,000 to Preetpal traders. Now, accountant has forgot to enter this transaction into the accounts book. So this is the case of complete omission. He has forgot to enter it. ठीक है, neither principal error, neither commission error. Error of omission or complete omission. Partial. Suppose he has entered the general entry, but see, after general entry, you are going to post it into the ledger account. Then after ledger, you are going to prepare the trial balance. From the trial balance, you are going to prepare the financial statements. So at the end of the day, what is going to matter? The trial balance, right? But he has prepared general entry correctly, but he has forgot to enter the cash transaction into the cash ledger account. So it's the case of partial omission. It's the case of partial omission because he is entering it. Okay, he's entering into the cash account, but he is omitting it into the Preetpal traders account. Reverse is also true. If he forgets to enter into the cash account, but he enters the details into the Preetpal account, then also it's a case of partial omission because he is forgetting the entry in one account, but he is doing it in any other. Okay, in our case, he is forgetting here and he is doing it here. So it's the case of partial omission, nothing very technical, very easy. Now, if complete omission is there, no debit, no credit, so obviously trial balance will still be balanced. But in the case of partial omission, obviously you are forgetting the debit balance, but you are entering the credit balance. So there will be disbalance in the trial balance. Clear? Okay. Now, the errors which make the trial balance unbalanced, we call it non-compensating. Very logical, na? Errors are not compensating. These errors are unbalancing the trial balance. So we call it non-compensating errors, right? But the errors which do not impact the trial balance, like complete omission, okay? So which do not impact trial balance, we call it compensating errors. So error of principle will always be compensating. Why? Let me tell you why. Machinery example, remember? You haven't, you have purchased the machinery, but you haven't debited the machinery account. Instead, you have debited the uh, you have debited the purchase account. So total of debit and credit will be same. But instead of machinery, you have debited the purchase account. So debit amount is there. So it is a compensating error. Error of complete omission, you know, no debit, no credit, so all will be equal. But error of partial commission, it is always going to be non-compensating. And error of commission, most of the time, clerical error is going to give you disbalancing of the trial balance or unbalanced trial balance most of the time. But sometimes it might happen that one error of commission is happening. Suppose this error of commission is decreasing the debit balance by 100. Okay, debit balance by 100. But another error you have occurred as the accountant. In that error, you are increasing the debit balance by 100. So these two errors are compensating with each other. Okay, so they are non-compensating errors. Okay, because because they are basically impacting. Okay, sometimes they are going to obviously impact and sometimes they're not going to impact. So I have told you this example ki most of the time they are going to be non-compensating, but sometime it is going to be compensating as well. So therefore it is written here, see, most of the time, not always. Okay, clear. Now you have to give me the answer of these questions. If credit purchase of machinery is recorded, मेरा marker कहाँ गया? Okay, this is not the answer. I was checking the marker. If credit purchase, now tell me, you have to tell me, if credit purchase of machinery is recorded in the purchase book instead of general proper, then what is it? This error of principle, commission, omission. Is the accountant lacking concept or he's lacking in the focus level? Tell me what should be the answer here. Very easy, huh? I am waiting for everyone. Till then I'll drink water ना, मेरा गला सूख गया बोलते बोलते. Okay, कहाँ थे हम? Everyone is correct. Very good, Mansi, Sri, Akhil, Bhushan. Very good. Everyone is correct. He is lacking in the concept because he is doing the mistake in the journal entries, because books, these subsidiary books are what are the general books na? So he is doing the mistake of general books, right? So it is the error of principle. Very good. Now second answer, if the accountant is not able to differentiate between the capital and revenue expenditure, again the error of principle, he lacks the concept level. Now you have to check these entries. Credit sales to Rajni recorded in cash book. Oh, accountant is not very intelligent. Credit sale should be recorded in sale book. He's entering it into the cash book. So error of principle. Furniture purchased from Miss Rao Furnishing for rupees 8,000 was entered into the purchase book. Again, furniture you have purchased, है ना? But he's entering into the purchase book. Oh, not very intelligent. Error of principle. Cash sales to Radhika was shown as the receipt of commission in the cash. So book is correct here. Journal entry is correct. But by mistake, his focus level was not good. So by mistake, instead of crediting sales, he thought he has got the commission. So he has written commission. Accountant has not the good focus level. Okay? So it would be the case of obviously error of commission. Now next question. Cash received from Kareem 6,000 posted to Nadeem. Oh, he was confused again. Book is same. Cash book he's going to enter into the cash book because nothing is written about the books. But from Kareem he has written Nadeem. So again the focus level is not that much good. So I can see everyone is correct again. Okay. So yeah, it is also the error of commission. Very good. Now let's move ahead. How you are going to do the rectification? Okay, how you are going to do the rectification of these errors? That is also very easy. See, when you have the two-sided errors, suppose credit sales to Mohan is there and it is the case of complete omission. You haven't entered any entry. Like credit sales to Mohan was not entered at all. So what should be the entry in general? What should be the actual entry? Obviously, sales account would have been credited and Mohan account should have been debited with amount 10,000 in the sales book. Okay. So it says ki now it is not the case of complete omission. It says credit sales to Mohan 10,000 were not recorded in the sales book. That means only this entry is missed. In the sales book, he has not debited the Mohan's account. Sales account was not credited. And Mohan account was not debited. And we are assuming in this case, if he has not done this entry, because see, in this case, credit sales is happening. Nothing it is mentioned ki it will be entered into the cash book, and you are preparing this general directly into the sales book, right? So if he is missing the sales book entry, that means he is omitting the complete entry, because you're not doing this entry in the general proper, you're doing the entry in the sales book, and it is saying it is not recorded in the sales book. So it is the case of complete omission. So it is very easy how to rectify it. Very easy, na? If this should have been the entry and he has not done the entry, now how you're going to rectify it? You're going to write this entry. Rectification is very easy. This has been omitted. Now how you will rectify it? You are going to write this entry, or what? This is the case of complete omission. Okay? This is how you are going to rectify by now entering it into the sales book. See, this is the rectification entry. Okay. Now, this is not the case of complete omission here. It says credit sales to Mohan rupees 10,000 were recorded as rupees 1,000 in the sales book. Now it is saying कि it has been short debited and credited. Means this is not the case of omission. This is the case of error of commission. Okay? So Mohan's account has been debited by 1,000. That means it has been short debited by 9,000, because actually Mohan's account should have been debited by 10,000, not by 1,000. So it is short debit of 9,000, and sales account is short of credit of 9,000, because sales account should have been created by 10,000, but instead it has been created by 1,000 only. So how you will rectify it? Very easy. You have done short debit of 9,000. So to rectify this mistake, you will now enter a entry. You will now enter the entry in which you are going to debit the Mohan's account by 9,000, because earlier it was short debited. Very, very easy. And sales account will be created by 9,000. Okay? That's how you are going to do rectification. This is the rectification entry. Okay? I'll show you. This is, see, this is the rectification entry, and I have given you the logic behind why the rectification is such like that only. Okay? Clear? Okay. Again, we have the so many examples. All these examples you have to practice as the homework. Okay? Concepts are clear. See, you need to do the practice to get hold on the concept. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Error of principle is going to happen in the examination. Okay? Okay, so all these entries are one and the same. We are not going to talk about each and every example, right? We are going to talk about the concept, right? Chalo. Okay. Okay, this we have done, right? Rectification we have understood. Same. Again, we have another entry. Okay. So all the entries are same, right? Okay. Chalo. Few concept check, few questions I'm going to ask you now. You have to tell me if goods worth rupees $2,000 returned by the Keshwani were taken into stock, a stock bill, the transaction was not recorded in the books. So what should be the entry, rectification entry? Complete omission is there. Goods worth rupees 2,000 returned by the Keshwani. Very, very easy it is. Complete omission. What should have been the general entry? That general entry should be our rectification entry. So what would be our general entry in case the amounts has been returned by Keshwani? Obviously, sales return, or we can call it return inwards, sales return by Keshwani. So sales return, acha, it is return inwards, same. Sales return, we can also call it return inwards. So return inwards will be debited. General entry, you have to practice general entry as well, huh? And Keshwani account will be credited. So this is the rectification entry because they have omitted this entry. So let me check the chat section. Who all are correct here? Yeah, very good. Aditi and the Rupa. Okay, chalo. Next entry. Goods of the value of 1000 return. Now we have returned, but omitted to record the transaction in the book. Again, very easy. Now we have returned goods, but we have not entered that. So purchase return. Purchase return will be credited and brown account will be debited. So very easy. Again, same question. But in this case, return outward, that is purchase return is there. Okay, let me check the chat section. Yeah, good. Bhumija, Aditi, Mansi, and Aditi. Yeah, everyone is correct. Good. Very, very good. ठीक है. चलो. ठीक है. Now, you have to identify again so many examples. So I have included these examples so that you can practice it at home, right? So we have done plenty of examples, but let's discuss these many one more time so that when you practice it, you have the understanding. Furniture purchased from Miss Rao Furnishing for rupees 8,000 was entered in the purchase book. Journal entry galat kar di accountant ne. Accountant has done the mistake while choosing the subsidiary book. So that means he is lacking the concept. So error of principle. ठीक है? Or and these entries we already have discussed so many times. ठीक है? चलो this entry we will discuss. ठीक है? So the wrong entry. What should have been the correct entry here? Furniture account should have been debited by 8,000, and you have purchased the machinery from furnishing from Miss Rao. So Miss Rao should have been credited by 8,000, right? What has been done by the accountant? He has entered into the purchase book. That means he has debited the purchase account, and credit is correct. Credit is correct. Now, how you will rectify it? Because it is not the case of it is not the case of complete omission. Okay, it is the case of basically principle. Now, see what is happening here. Correct entry should have been this. So your furniture account actually has been short debit by 8,000. So now to rectify it, you have to debit your furniture account, isn't it? Because you should have done this, but you haven't done this thing, but you should have. So now you are going to debit your furniture account by 8,000 to rectify your wrong entry, right? But simultaneously, you have done wrong debit, excess debit of the purchases by 8,000. So to rectify this excess debit, you are going to credit this purchase account. Obviously, you have to minus it. So you are going to credit it. Reverse of debit is credit. It will be 8,000 again. So this is the rectification entry. Furniture account debit to purchase account. So let me check the chat section because few of you have given me the answers as well. Okay, that's really nice. Very, very good. Okay, good. So this is the rectification. So now we have talked about all the different type of rectification entries. Okay, barring one. And what is that one entry that we haven't discussed? This is the same case we have discussed, right? What is the one entry? I'll let you know. Don't worry. I will let you know. Suppose we have this example. Let's take this example. Amandeep Said is asking, sir, where I get the recorded class? See, in the course itself, when you will go to the live course, live course 2, when you will click on it, you will have 3 sections. First section will be of live, then you will have the recording, then you will have the PPT attachment. Okay? So on the second part, you have the you have on the second part you have the recorded class. From there you can get that recorded part. Okay? Chalo, now focus here. Barring one condition, we have discussed all the rectification entry, all the cases of rectification entry, not all the examples, obviously. Yeah. So What is special about this entry? Now, see, in this case, Ram contributed 100 to the business. Now, cash account debited by 100. That means in the cash account has been correctly debited by 100, but capital account has been wrongly credited by 10 rupees. Now, listen to me very carefully. Capital account is short of credit by 90 rupees. Okay? So that you need to credit the capital account by 90 to make it 100. But tell me, what you are going to debit? There is nothing wrong in the debit now. So what you are going to debit now in this case? Tell me in the chat section, everyone. Yeah, very good. You are going to debit the suspense account. Okay? Because you don't have any account to debit, because all debit accounts are well and good. They are correct. So you are going to debit the suspense account. ठीक, very nice. ठीक है. So where we have this entry, चलो entry जो भी है मैंने आपको entry बता दिया. ठीक है. So this is the same thing we are doing here. See, आ गया example we have. This is another example of suspense account. Credit sales to Mohan 5,000 were posted to his account as 2,000. Now the correct entry should have been Mohan account debited by 5,000, sales account credited by 5,000. But what is the mistake here? Were posted to his account as 2,000. ठीक है? That means sales account would be correct. Sales account has been correctly credited by 5,000, but in his account it has been incorrectly debited by 2,000. So it is short debit of 3,000. So that कि Mohan account you have to debit by 3,000. But what you need to credit when every credit is correct, so you are going to credit this suspense account. ठीक है? चलो. Now suspense account cases we have discussed. Okay. So all the examples I have put this in PPT so that you can practice it. ठीक है? In the homework. Okay. We have talked about all the cases. Okay. Now let's check what's the next concept. Now the concept is MCQ. MCQ. Okay. Now you have to tell me this answer. Which one of the following statements about trial balance is absolutely correct? Tell me. It is book containing different accounts of an entity. It is a statement containing balances of debtors of an entity only. It is a statement containing balances of debtors and creditors only. It is a statement containing the various ledger balances of an entity on a particular date. So let me know in the chat section what is the answer here. Very easy question, I guess. But very easy, but I'm not getting the right answers. Why? Everyone, I want everyone to answer this question. Very easy this is, huh? What is trial balance? It is a book containing different accounts of an entity. It is a statement containing the various ledger balances. Array, we have done this, na? Trial balance. Trial balance. Okay, now I'm getting the right answer. Okay. Ritika, Neeraj, Nikhil, Nishita, Anupam, no. Komal, no. Jack, right. Monica, no. Akhil, no. Yeah, so most of you are correct. So obviously that is going to be it is a statement containing the various ledger balances. Beta, ledger balances. We have done this thing. Ledger balances we are going to enter. After ledger, we prepare the trial balance by entering the balances of the all the ledger accounts, right? So we enter the ledger balances. So option number D would be the correct answer. Okay, very easy. You must revise it. Pratik, good. D. Now read the question very carefully. Read the answers as well. Okay. Now this was the actual question that has been asked in the examination. Now you have to tell me. Rent expenses were charged to the books of accounts for 11 months, but it was not charged for the 12 month. So accountant should have been charging all for this 12 months, but he has forgot to charge it in the 12th month. He has not entered any entry. He has not entered any entry for the 12 months. Like the entry would have been rent debit to cash account 10,000. He has forgot to enter the complete entry into the accounts book. What should be the answer? Tell me. Error of commission, omission, or principal? Let me check the chat section. Very good, Momija, Monica, Jack, Pompey, Akhil. Most of you are correct. Akhil, yeah, ठीक है. Siri, okay, very good. In this case, it is omission. Everyone is correct. I think, yeah, most of you are correct because he is not entering the complete entry. So remember this thing. You might be confused between error of commission and error of omission. Omission. But remember, he is doing the mistake. Yeah, that is correct. But when it is the case of omission, when he forgets any entry, then you will put into the category of omission, not into the commission. And apart from the omission error, whatever clerical mistake he did, that you will enter into the commission part. So this lesson you got from this question. Okay? Though it's a clerical mistake, but it's also the case of omission. Na? He is forgetting the complete entry or the partially. Okay? He's forgetting it. Right? Okay. So when he forgets any entry, then we will include that into the omission, not into the commission. Rest of the cases will be entered into the commission. Okay? Chalo. This was the actual question. See, the trickiest trick question. Okay? So that's how in detailing you have to go. Okay? That's why we are discussing the concept in a very detailed manner. Okay. Homework question. I'm not going to give you the answer of these questions. You have to tell me what should be the answer of these 3 questions in the recorded video session below the video. But don't just write the homework question answers. Write how much you love the explanation. Okay? That also. Okay. अच्छा खत्म हो गई क्लास क्या? Okay. I didn't realized. Okay. So today's class is over, I guess. Yeah. मजा आ गया हाँ. Class over. I thought मेरे पास और लेक्चर्स हैं, मतलब और टॉपिक्स हैं. I have to teach more topics. Okay. So perfect time. Exactly 3 hours, isn't it? Okay. So now what you have to do? पहले बताओ मजा आया कि नहीं आया? अच्छा, I have stopped sharing it now. So we have done all the basic foundation of accountancy in just 2 classes. Whether you are from the non-commerce background, whether you are from the commerce background, these 2 chapters, these 2 classes are going to be useful for each and every one of you. From basic to advanced, we have covered when we talk about the foundation. Now, from tomorrow onwards, we are going to get into the income statement back. Now, from the examination point of view, this also becomes important from the tomorrow, right? So those who are watching it in the YouTube, see what you need to do now from tomorrow. You won't be able to get these lectures for free, obviously, right? So you need to enroll in the course if you want to do that. If you think that is going to impact your performance in the examination, then only. Okay? Then only. So I'll let you know how you do that. Till then, all the Zoom students are giving me, yeah, sir, मजा आ गया, ठीक है. Okay, ठीक है. Pratik, don't worry about 1 or 2 doubt. Nah. See, PPT is going to be attached. Recorded class is going to be attached. Just write. When you will revisit it, nah, you will yourself feel now you have the better understanding. Don't be concerned about 1 or 2 MCQ. Okay? That will take time. There are so many students here, right? So, समझ में आ गया ना प्रतीक? What I'm trying to say, right? अच्छा, now tell me one thing. What I was telling you, सब कहने की बहुत मजा आ गया. Okay, that's nice. Now, uh, till I just go to the website to show all the YouTube candidates from where they can enroll. You let me know in the email hello@edutap.co.in कि कितना मजा आया. ठीक है? hello@edutap.co.in. Everyone, each and everyone. Then I'll take the doubts right now. ठीक है? Till then I'll show the YouTube candidates how to go to the website, how to get to the course. ठीक है? Okay, Nikhil. I know बहुत मजा आया आपको. Thank you very much. But you have to tell me in the email ID I have given you. Huh? Everyone. There are so many candidates here. hello@edutap.co.in. And when you have done so, just write yes in the chat section. I'm waiting. Till then, I'll show how to enroll in the course for the YouTube candidates. ठीक है? चलो. I'm sharing my screen with you, all of you. You just do the email part. Okay? And I'll show the course part to the YouTube candidates, YouTube aspirants, right? Okay. Okay, so ठीक है, चलो. Okay. So for all the YouTube candidates that are watching. Obviously, all are watching here, and those who are going to watch it in the recorded format. Let me tell you that from tomorrow, this is going to be exclusively available for the enrolled students, right? So what you can do, you can go to the www.edutap.co.in, right? And you will basically scroll down to SEBI Grade A Journalist course, right? And then you have these live classes. Here we have the live classes, ठीक है, live crash course. So yeah, coupon code is here. Now coupon code is different, SEBI 63. So when you click on buy now, just apply the coupon code. It will come down to 4,500 approximately. So it is very affordable and very good amount, right? So when you do that, don't forget to apply the coupon code. And from tomorrow, I'll see you on the other side. ठीक है? There will be no free classes from tomorrow onwards. ठीक है? चलो एक बार मैं YouTube में check कर लेता हूँ if anyone has any doubt. Until then, all the Zoom candidates should be writing yes in the chat section by giving me the feedback, by giving me how much you have liked this session, today's session, by giving me the feedback in the email ID. And remember to write the subject as what? Write subject as live class by Santosh sir. ठीक है? And write yes. चलो, I'll take first of all doubts of the YouTube. Till then you do that. ठीक है? Okay, I think Pratik is asking something. Okay, I'll visit the YouTube later. I think I have got the questions here as well. Bipesh is asking, sir, what is the way to ask doubt from you? See, Bipesh, we have the recorded videos, right? In the course, you can type your doubt. You can give the you can type your doubt in the below the video. You have the comment section. ठीक है? Don't worry. You have the proper setup. Okay? अच्छा. And yes, किसी ने नहीं लिखा. Everyone, I'm waiting for everyone's yes. हाँ. Okay. मजा आया तो करना पड़ेगा ये. Okay, Pratik is saying, sir, in the MCQs asked where you will record goods purchased on cash, and option has cash book, but it has had the purchase ledger. The purchase ledger is also correct option, right? I'm not getting your question, Pratik, because phrasing is, I guess, not very correct as per the question. But don't worry, why you are so concerned with one? Acha, tell me where it was. If you remember the slide number, I'll go to that. अच्छा, Bipesh is asking, sir, है ना? First I'll answer the Pratik, then I'll answer one by one. Pratik, tell me. अच्छा, end of subsidiary book MCQs. Okay, I'm just opening the subsidiary book PPT. You stop me where it is written. ठीक है? Here is the MCQs. Okay, you tell me. This is the MCQ. Uh, uh, this is the MCQ. You tell me what is the MCQ. ठीक है? You stop me where it is. ठीक है? In the middle of PPT. Pratik, we can't go to the middle now. We will have so much. We will waste so much time to get into the. Don't worry about. Don't see when you will have the PPT, when you will have the recorded class. Just enter into the discussion forum that below comment section, and first when you will analyze it your own, then it might happen that you will understand on your own, because we have when you will revise it, your mind will be fresh. But even if you have some doubt, just write it down. Na, I'll answer that on my own. Don't worry, I'll answer on my own. Your question I'll answer on my own. ठीक है? I'll see. ठीक है? Done, Pratik? Satisfied? Satisfied? Okay, चलो आगे देखते हैं. ठीक है? चलो, Mukesh is saying yes, I have given the. Okay, Aditya is saying done with the feedback, sir. Okay, thank you. Positive feedbacks. Okay, because I've done so much hard work for this. Okay. And you have enjoyed the session, and we are going in a good speed. So whatever you liked about this class, whether it is about speed, whether it is about concepts, everything. Okay. Okay, Mukesh is saying no. Bipesh is saying no way to ask in audio or telephonic conversation. See, we have the doubt mentor, doubts solver mentor. We have Manan sir. Okay. So when you will ask for the telephonic conversation, so Manan sir is going to answer that. Okay. For the telephonic conversation. Okay. Clear? Clear? Bipesh? Okay. Amandeep, tell me what's your question? Okay. Pratik is asking goods purchase in cash. goods purchased in cash. Okay, yeah, purchase goods in cash will be recorded in what? In the cash book. In the cash book. If you are purchasing, now your phrasing is good, right? Goods purchased on cash will be recorded in the cash book. Okay? A, B, C. You have given the option cash book, purchase ledger, purchase. Acha, okay. So it was like this only. Am I sure the correct option is A? See, the correct option is A, cash book. It will be entered in the cash book. Correct, Pratik. Very good. Okay, clear? Now ठीक है ना? Purchase book, it will not be entered into the purchase book, though the C option is something different. I don't know, it is purchase, it should not be purchase ledger, or the question should have been goods purchased in cash will be recorded in which general book. ठीक है, question should have been this, but your answer is सही, answer is correct. Pratik, clear? Okay, Aditya Singh, sir, I understood. Pratik, clear na? Okay, Aditya Singh, sir, I understood the concept, but need to do more and more practice. Obviously, this everyone has to do this. So once you have the PPT, you have to revise it from the PPT. You have to do the practice, all the homework question I have included in this, all the extra examples I have included in this PPT, so that you can revise it, right? That's why I have done so. Okay, you have to revise it. You need practice. This is accounts, technical but logical. Okay, okay. Don't worry about debating it. Once you revise it, that will be clear. Revisit the lecture, revisit the PPT. Okay? Revisit the summary sheet. You can check the summary sheet as well. See, when you will read out the summary sheet now, whatever we have discussed, you will be clear enough. Okay. Okay, BPS is asking something. Uh, okay, easy. One by one, huh? I have got 10 more questions. And I have got only, I think, 2 or 3 yes. Okay. Achha, Amandeep is asking, sir, I have enrolled in the recorded course. Recorded course? If you are enrolled in any course, you will get the recorded as well as the live lecture. Okay. Okay, okay. Wait a minute. I'm getting so many. Okay. Wait for a minute. I'll answer one by one. Okay. Let me open my screen first of all. Okay. Chalo. Okay. So yeah, Aditya, you need to practice. Okay. Bipesh is asking, during the lifetime of entity, accounting procedures, during the lifetime of entity, accounting produces financial statements. Yeah, correct. In accordance with which of the following basic accounting concept? See, periodic concept, cost concept, material concept. What kind of question is this? See, you have to remember what are the basic accounting assumptions, and we have done this thing, right? What are the basic? Tell me, Bipesh, what are the basic 3 accounting assumptions from this class? We have said this, na? Just give me the answer of that basic accounting assumption. So if you, that is your answer here, whatever is the basic, if that is written here, okay? And now see, it depends, your language is incorrect though, but okay, I got your intent, what you want to ask. Okay, I got your intent, but you need to understand ki whatever your 3 basic assumptions, that will be forming your answer here. Okay, chalo. Amandeep is saying okay. Pratik is asking, purchase ledger. If purchase ledger is in the third option, Pratik, then option is incorrect. That will be modified. Don't worry about that. Okay? But your answer was correct. Cash account. ठीक है. Okay. Okay. Vipesh is saying this question is from the question bank. Okay. What is the question? I'll read it again. During the lifetime of entity, accounting produces financial accounting with the which of the, so you have to choose the, agar you don't have any basic accounting principle in the written in the option, you have to choose the, see, basically questions language is incorrect. If the question would have been during the lifetime of the entity, accounting produces financial statements in various time periods, in various time period. Okay, then the answer would have been periodic concept. So it depends on the language of the question. You have to analyze, and if the language is question, it might happen in the examination. You might see some confusing questions, so you have to pick the most appropriate answer. Okay, चलो आगे देखते हैं. What question I have? Yeah, Aditya, that is correct. It will be sorted with practice and with more example. I'm saying now in live batch, I can get this class. Yeah, you are going to get the live, you are going to get the recorded classes as well, Amandeep. Don't worry about that. Okay, Bipesh is asking how it could be a going concern. Should not this be right answer to this? Bipesh, I have answered your query, right? You have to read the question very carefully. I'm right now answering too many queries, right? Ask the specific doubt, whatever we have discussed. Hai na? Okay. So, and whatever we have doubt in today's lecture, okay, don't worry. Just revise this lecture and go through the summary sheets, and everything will be crystal clear. But this lecture requires you to practice all the journal entries, all the MCQs, all the examples we have taken, all the examples we have left for the homework. Then ask the doubts. See, when you do the revision, then you will understand. अच्छा हमने ये पढ़ा था. It might happen to you sometime in the past. It might have happened to you कि when you come after writing the exam, then you will remember the concept. Oh, ये होना चाहिए था इसका आंसर. So basically that happens because your mind is fresh. ठीक है, after having a good night's sleep. So when you are sleeping tonight, then in the next morning you are going to watch it again, or you are going to revise it from summary sheet. Then we will have the discussion again. ठीक है, now your mind is not so much fresh. ठीक है, okay. But cash purchases of goods will be Pratik, I have answered that. That is correct. Cash purchases will be always, it will be, cash purchases will be entered in the case of general book, it will be entered in the cash book. In case of ledger, it will be entered obviously in the purchase ledger as well. But, okay, but if the question is saying both of them, then both of them will be the answer. But if the question is specific about the general book, then cash book is the answer. Okay. Bhavi is asking, sir, where can we get the PPT? PPT will be provided to you in the attachment. Okay. Within the section of second class. Rupa, you can ask that. Don't worry. In the below the video, you can ask that. Okay, all the outs. Yeah, Amandeep, if you have taken the gold course, don't worry. You are getting the live classes as well as the required classes. Don't worry. You have the different section of live class. Okay. Chalo. Acha, Rupa is asking something. Okay. Okay, I have to read out so many questions, Rupa. Okay. So, in the live class, you are asking so many. Okay, so I'm getting very okay. Amandeep, thank you. Okay, welcome. Okay, Rupa, I'll answer your query at the last. Let me just go through all the doubts because you have very long query, right? Okay, sir. Pratik, yes, you record cash purchase of good in the purchase ledger as well. Why you're not going to do that? Cash book is the general, okay, and purchase account is the ledger. So you are going to post from the ledger to the you are going to post entry from the general to the ledger, na? That is for sure. So it will be done in the cash book as well, and it will be done in the purchase ledger as well. Pratik, clear? Now clear? You got the answer? Okay. Okay, now this is asking with respect to today's doubt. Okay, I will unmute you, don't worry. Okay, Amandi saying thank you. Okay, welcome. Bhavesh saying, sir, when will the videos be uploaded? It is done by the support team, right? So I guess it is uploaded around 12 to 1 p.m. tomorrow, right? And the attachment will be given to you beforehand. Okay, so I think we have Navdeep. Okay, Navdeep, I'll unmute you. First, I'll go to the Rupa's doubt, right? So I'll check if Rupa is here or not, if she's waiting or not. Yeah, she's waiting. Okay. So chalo, Rupa has a question and everyone has to answer me, and even Rupa has to answer me, and with the logic, what should be answer as per your logic. Then I'll tell you why you are wrong and why you are right. So the question she's asking, and if the question is wrong, obviously you will get to know. Okay. Which account causes everyone has to answer me, and Rupa has to specifically answer me. Okay, Rupa. Which account causes the main difference between merchandisers adjusting and closing process and that of service businesses? See, we haven't done the adjustment account yet, so it is irrelevant. Okay, but even then we will do that. Okay, everyone, I will again repeat the question, and Rupa is going to answer, and everyone is going to answer. So question says, which account causes main difference between merchandisers adjusting and closing process and that of a service business? Advertising expense, inventory, and okay, she has written ACBD. Okay, so A is advertising expense. Okay, I'll copy it for you to read it, for everyone to read it. Okay, and you are not going to give me the answer without the logic. Okay, but we don't have time for all the MCQs. But even today I'm doing it. But for all the MCQs, you are going to write it. Okay, in the discussion forum below the video, because we don't have time to take each one of your MCQs in the live session, right? Okay. Okay, answer me. Until then, I'll take the next question because I got more questions. ठीक है, ठीक है। प्रतीक, आई हैव आंसर्ड योर क्वेरी, या? ठीक है, ओके, ओके, चलो। या now, Rupa, tell me what according to you should be the answer and why. You tell me first of all, then I'll tell you. Every answer I have answered every query, each and every query. Only your okay. ठीक है, Navdeep. But why? If you are saying D is the answer, but why? Why the D is answer? Tell me the logic. Without logic, nothing happens, right? Everyone who is sitting here, I want everyone to answer me. Yeah. Only this question we will discuss. Rest of the question, Rupa, you are going to write in the discussion forum, and Manan sir is going to take that all this question, or me, I can also take that questions. Okay? If he's absent or he's in leave period, I'll handle that. Okay? But this question, if you have asked me, therefore I'm taking this. But I'm not going to take each and everyone's MCQs, right? Okay. Nadeep, YD. It says which account. Okay, okay. Listen to me now. It says which account causes the main difference between the merchandisers adjusting and closing process. I think the first of all the language is incorrect, or language is very vague. It is asking you main difference between the merchandisers adjusting and closing process and that of a service business, right? And it says advertising expense, inventory, interest, revenue, and the accounts receivable. So if he is merchandiser, right? So your most appropriate answer would be accounts receivable, because we are only concerned with the suppliers receivable or the payable. In case of receivable and payable, we are only concerned with the merchandisers. Any other thing, that is advertising expense, yeah, inventory. Okay, inventory could also be the answer because we are talking about the closing process, and that of service business, and that of a service business. If anything is a merchandiser business and the service business, I think the question is vague. Don't worry, we will get this question right. I'll change the question language. I think question language is vague because first of all it is asking merchandisers adjusting, and then it is saying that of a service business. Okay. Okay. Okay, but the answer is C. Okay, I got the okay. I'll let you understand this. Okay, now listen to me very carefully. It was a good question, but the language was a little bit vague. But I'll explain this to you. It is basically asking you कि which account causes difference. Understand this difference between closing, that is closing process, when you close the account now, or the inventories process. It might say what is the difference in the adjusting for the merchandises and for the service business. So in the service business and in the merchandising business, what is the main difference? That's your stock, because service business is not going to talk about the inventories and stock because they are providing the service. So that's the difference. Clear? That's the logic. Okay? Clear? Navdeep, you were wrong here. So accounts receivable was not the answer. So in case the questions are somewhat tricky in the examination, you have to use your logic. You have to take the most appropriate answer. Clear? Chalo. Now let me take the questions of YouTube's as well, na? Okay. Yeah, Nadeep, correct. Okay. So let me check if because I think it's almost 3.5 hours. So I don't think anyone is waiting for me in the YouTube right now. But even then, I'll check. Then we will then we will close it, right? Oh, my this is not working, I guess. Uh, okay. ठीक है, ठीक है. No one has any doubt. They are still waiting. Okay, but no one has any doubt. Okay, good. everyone is clear about everything, and I have already discussed about the how to enroll in the course. ठीक है, चलो. Now you are going to revise it. Your work is to revise it, and then we will meet tomorrow. ठीक है, okay, Nadeep, I'm unmuting you as well. You can ask your question with regard to today's session. ठीक है, just wait for a minute. Okay, Rupesh sir, where I should post remaining question in the class itself, in the course itself, below the video you have the comment section. ठीक है, in that you have to post all your extra MCQs, whatever you have. ठीक है, okay, okay, Rup, clear, okay, chalo. Now I have Navdeep. Okay, Navdeep, let me just unmute you if you have any question. Yeah, ask me, Navdeep. Is my voice clear to you?
Yes, sir. Am I audible to you, sir?
Yeah, you are audible to me, but let's wait for a minute. Just wait for a minute, because why I'm wasting time for the YouTube candidates. Na? So just let me first of all end that session in the YouTube, right?
All right, sir.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Now you tell me what's your question regarding today's session. I'll have the pen as well. Okay.